is the one.
Yo, how you guys doing this fine evening? We got the memes. Mankind knew they could not change society, so instead they made memes instead of working while sick. Get owned. Anyway, ahem. I got a whole lot of people to thank, so please bear with me for just a moment. The definition of a moment may vary depending on locality. Sussy baka. Yeah, Azulao. Ahem. Let's see here. SG Arcade has resubscribed at tier 3. The Chad sub. The maximum sub tier, the one that gets the HeyWoah nut. The best emote. TYVM, my dude, please enjoy the best emote. Kicker Sevens resubbed at tier 1 for 9 months. He says, glad you're no longer down with the sickness. It's true. It's true. I got a little bit. It's lingering a little bit, but I mean, the show must go on, right? I can talk. I might not be able to do 6-hour, talking and shouting and stuff, but we're good for a stream. We're good for a stream, I think. TY for the concern. I appreciate it. CJO Busta, after that, donated 20 big ones, big subs that landed upon the community. And a whole lot of people got a free sub from CJO Busta. TY for the oil baron oiling us up. He oiled up 20 people in chat. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it a great deal. Nedu Chad also resubbed at tier 1. In the middle of that, his comment was HeyWoah big. Great comment. Very insightful. I always like it. Leadfoot 352 resubbed at tier 1. And his comment is Biggs. It's your boy, Leadfoot. I'm here to tell you that you are big and also somehow flat. Big and flat together. Also, I've begun work on a new AOS project. These are his words. I'm making a soulbound binding out of sweet Cities of Sigmar heroes. That is all. Please resume. Great comment, Leadfoot. Let us know how that's going. TY for the sub and the comment. Hades Death God subbed to tier 1. His comment is HeyWoah big. 8 months. It's been one hell of a ride, but he is back. HeyWoah big. Bigger and better than ever. Bigs never die. Hey, good comment. Thanks a lot. Hades Death God, I appreciate it. I'm going in chronological order on these, so again, please bear with me. I'm going to try to read up on all the comments people posted, but I gotta thank people first. Azulao resubbed big primer, nice. And People 3004 also with the big primer. Azulao's comment is big, great comment. And People 3004's comment is we are back, big. Both great comments, both 7 months, and both primers. Oh, brothers in prime, not bad. Dead of Dark Match gifted 5 tier 1s, a nice grip. All right, he's oiling them up as well. Get oiled, chat. Wawalago resubbed with the big primer, says welcome back, HeyWoah bro. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. GDead99 resubbed at tier 1. Thanks a lot. Always good to see. Lord Whale has gifted 1 sub. Thanks a lot. It landed on somebody in the community. Appreciate it, Lord Whale. C. Jaspacho has issued 1 bit. Hey, thanks for the 1 bit. I appreciate it. Every little bit counts. TY. I'm going to rotate in my chair here because I have a lot to read. Hades Death God has also gifted a tier 1 sub to the community. Thanks a lot, as well as Tarkin Rex resubbed to tier 1. His comment was, whoa, good comment. CGO Busta donated, oh, this is a only Chad's click donation button. Jeff Bezos' greedy little hands don't get a grip on this one. Interesting. And it's $300. Huge, dude. That's a huge donation. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Very much appreciated. His comment is, your puny diseases cannot stop gargantuan lupin coon. Yeah, a little P5 reference. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for oiling me up. Always appreciate it. TYVM. Huge dono. Tyrant Mania resubbed at tier 1. And his comment is, HeyWoah returns And it's an AMV channel now. Welcome back. Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Good comment. Lord Whale gifted a sub. CGO Busted gifted a sub. Everybody be gifting subs. Thanks a lot for the gifts. I appreciate it. Fritterbreaker 2 has resubbed Primer. Ooh, a big Primer. He says, quarantine doesn't mean not going online too for your information. Hey, thanks a lot. Good comment. I'll keep it in mind. Briar Soul resubbed as a Primer. He says, the boy lives. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the Prime. Ortorius has issued 100 bits. Thanks a lot. Their comment is, welcome back. Painting a Star Drake because Oops All Dragons inspired from Oops All Thunder Tusks in the last HeyWoah video. Oh, nice. Hey, Oops All Dragons, legend status. It's looking good. I fully endorse this. Ahem. Whether or not it's amazingly strong or just good doesn't matter. It's all dragons. That's the thing that matters. And finally, Delightful resub to Tier 1 for 8 months. And his comment is big. Great comment. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Okay, now I can switch over. Ahem. I can switch over to the chat proper. That, oh my gosh, I've missed so much. It's scrolled past. Hey, people who delivered a comment into chat before, like, I want to say 2 minutes ago. Normally I read all that shit after the intro, but it has too many people have said stuff. This is a problem. I don't mean to ignore your comments, but they've scrolled away. I apologize. Sorry about that one. Let's see. Never occurred to me how small games in 3.0 were compared to 2.0 till you went to a physical game and only had 2 boxes of shit to take instead of 3. Chaos Smiles, yeah. It didn't occur to me until like I played the first game of 3.0. For me it was like table size small. I'm like, oh, I see. So like just about anyone can get into the middle of the table right away. Like, it's actually a big deal. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it kind of is. Ahem. GDead99, thanks for the 5 gifters. I appreciate it. Landing upon people. GDead oiling us up now. Man, chat is going to be glistening. Absolutely glistening in the sunlight. Shining in the moonlight. Thanks a lot. Off Key says, HeyWoah took your Yee-Tee Stonehorn list to NashCon Grand Tournament, went 4-1, placing 4th out of 70 players. Off Key, hey, nice. Nice one, dude. I looked at, I gotta say, I have peeped the results of NashCon, and I saw that there was an Ogre Maw Tribes in 4th place, and I'm like, what I said out loud was, I bet a fucking Chad got 4th place with Ogre Maw Tribes, and it turns out it was you. Hey, congratulations. I hope you had fun. Besides going 4-1, right? Like, I hope you also had fun. Anyway, great list. Very smart list building. But also piloting. Because as we'll get to later, and as I often talk about, Age of Sigmar, individual player skill has a lot to do with winning. Some would say more to do with winning than what faction you happen to choose. And some of those people are me. Hawkdo's donated $15. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. TY for the $15. His comment is, glad you're feeling better. My dude, I am feeling better. It took 2 weeks, really. The first entire week, I couldn't do anything. I was just in bed. I had a fever all night and all day for just 6 days. And it just never went away. I had a fever just nonstop for a week. And then the next probably 4 or 5 days, it was like super slowly getting better, but at least I didn't have a fever anymore, and I was just experiencing residual symptoms. I had to make sure my cough button still worked, and it does. I'm still feeling a little bit of it, but I'm like 90% back to normal. Darrington, TY for the gifter. The landed upon the community for a tier 1. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Kier Dynamic, thanks for the big primer. I missed that probably. And Dr. Dark Match subbed the tier 1. Thanks to both of yours. I really appreciate both of them. Dr. Dark Match's comment is, I feel big. You know what I mean? Like, not big in the sense of weight. You know what I mean? Like, gaining weight or nothing like that. Like, yeah. Like, physically imposing. Like, pumped up. Expanded. Right. Anyway, thanks a lot. Good comments. I'm going to repost. HeyWoah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Off knee. I just, or off key, I should say. I just talked about it. And congratulations. Unless you didn't hear me. I hope you did. HeyWoah was sick and comes back, and basically nothing has changed in AOS. Yeah, but there's still a lot of news anyway. Cinderfall Gaming is doing some brekkie before finishing up some Cruel Boys. Not bad. Appreciate. Off-key lost his first game to Lumineth Techless. Yeah, very losable matchup for Maw Tribes. I would say that normally, so like non-Techless LRL, I would consider a bad matchup for Lumineth. But with Techless, depending on the battle plan and the opponent, probably a bad matchup for Maw Tribes. But that's kind of the thing with Lumineth. Lumineth has polarizing matchups for the most part. You either crush or get crushed. It just sort of works out that way somehow. From my experience, anyway. That one Squirtle says, bad news. She said we should just stay friends. Good news, my buddy who found out she turned me down and traded your Iron Jaws for a bit more than 2k points of Slaves to Darkness, as well as some Corn and Slanesh plus S2D book and Slanesh book. So you feel a bit better. Hey, that one Squirtle, don't take it too hard, my man. You struck out, but you stepped up to the plate, and that's the important thing. Also, the other important thing is, like, after you've struck out, don't, like, be super fucking weird about it, you know? They're people, too. Women. But anyway, good work, and, it's just like losing your first round at a tournament. Next round is a brand new game. Lord Whale gifted a tier 1 sub. Nice. Hey, thanks for the gift. I appreciate it. TY. Yeah, Andrew yells with the ahem. Yeah, there will be some ahems this stream while I get over my stuff. So apologies for that. You would say too much to do with skill, says Leadfoot. I actually agree with you, statistically. That could be a whole video, probably. But it would be a whole bunch of, like, telling people what they don't want to hear, you know? And I've already done one video like that already. We gotta put on some, you know, evergreen, good for everybody stuff next, right? Those books were always meant for September. Oh, speaking of those books always being meant for September, somebody posted a meme. Somebody posted a meme on Twitter. I don't know who it was. It was stolen by everyone immediately. Yeah, where are these? Please report if seen. Last seen July 3rd. Pre-order date soon. There's more to this story. Pre-order date was August. Proof. This is the old article. New Orc War Clan Stormcast Eternal Battle Tome are available for pre-order in August. Third Battle Tome will follow these in October. Something a little more chaos flavored, we hear. And then they went back and changed the old article to now say soon instead of August, in some sort of, like, company gaslighting experiment instead of just, like, telling us it's delayed. Which is weird. Kind of weird and not how I would say you should do it. Am I mad that things have been delayed? Not really. I can wait. You know? It sucks. It sucks to wait. It sucks to wait, man. But, hey, if there's a good reason for it, no big deal. That's like my overarching, I think I posted about it on Twitter, but like my overarching feelings on it. This will be delayed. All right, fair enough. We have good reasons for delaying it. Yep, no problem. We're not going to announce it. Instead, we're going to like change an old article to say something else and then not bring it up until people find out and then yell at us. And then after the fact, we're going to say that it's delayed. That's where it gets weird. That's where it gets weird for me. Like, first two would have been fine. Actually kind of annoyed. Not about the thing they were afraid of me being annoyed about. I'm now afraid of the thing that they did to try not to get like some child, you know, that starts lying. Oh, it wasn't me that ate the chocolate, and there's like chocolate all over their face. Hear that, Games Workshop? I don't care if you eat chocolate. Just let me know you're gonna. That's all. So many chats. I'm gonna go. We're getting into it. Spartan 12706 says, "Hey, well, I'm thinking of starting a wargaming club at my school. There's not many people around here play it. Would probably start with games like X-Wing, as Star Wars is more widely known. Thoughts?" I think. Ahem. I think whatever game it is that you're going to start is what everyone's going to eventually start playing. I mean, ideally, if it works correctly, right? If all goes well, whatever game you bring to the club is going to be the ones that people start playing, right? Unless there's already a bunch of people that are already playing Star Wars that you can fold in, you know? So I say choose whatever game you wish would get big. If that's Age of Sigmar, cool. If it's not, also cool, you know? So that's basically my advice. Anyway, good luck. HeyWoah News, woman is also people. Yeah, it's controversial, but that's the theory that I've been working on scientifically throughout my life, and it's worked pretty well for me. I'm single, by the way. Travish100 says, "I finally won my first AOS game with my Virkos Vamps. Chadakar the Beast." Nice, congratulations. Glad it was a fun game. Off key, yeah, it came down to the one double. A lot of times, if you're evenly matched, a lot of times it comes down to that coin flip. They put it in there, right? That one Squirtle says, "Agreed, and she and I are still close friends. She's one of the few people whom I trust when the chips are down." Hey, it's good to have somebody like that. Even if they're not romantic, it's just good to have somebody like that. So, yeah, I kind of agree. You redeemed hats off before. Hades, I apologize. I definitely didn't see it. There was too much. There was too much to keep track of. Question, does it bother you that Korn has a cannon that's legal and Ironwell, I assume you mean, what's that city? What's that city? Sigmar city that has all the cannons. Well, I can't remember it offhand. CG Buster redeemed ad time that like no one gets to watch. Okay, you're redeeming ad time while I look up this cannon thing. Get shot. Greywater Fastness, thank you. 2 people. Yeah, it seems to me that Greywater Fastness should have like massive fucking cannons, right? And it should be part of the city's thing. But it also bothers me that Korn's cannon fucking sucks. And they didn't make the Skull Altar a priest. I have complaints about both of those things. I don't feel like this is a haves and have-nots situation. It's like a two have-nots in weird ways. They announced it in the newest article. Yes, they did. As of today, they announced it in the newest article. Big 111 viewers here for the return of the king. Hey, thanks. I didn't notice that. Usually I have my viewer thing somewhere because it's useful information to know, but it's not useful information to obsess over when you're live, you know. But it's important to know. To be fair, shipping is on extra hard still with one hit from enemies getting your container stuck in a port for 4 days. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And plus, I mean, they're trying to roll out Warhammer Plus, so all hands on deck for that thing too. I think I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody on Facebook, which usually is untrustworthy, but they were going over the financial analysis of Games Workshop in the past fiscal year and moving forward. And I think it was something like they finalized the purchase on 2 new plots of land near their other factory to build 2 more factories, so that somewhere around 2022 they would be able to keep up with all the shit that they've been promising that they'll make. And they're dipping into their warehouse sales more than previously thought. It's like 3% instead of break even, which is actually good. So, long story short, when COVID is like finally done with, production is possibly going to keep up with demand for once, which should be nice. 5 out of 7 ad would watch again. Yeah, I hope so. I think there's got to be somebody in chat who's not subbed after all those humongous gifters, but I don't think my ads are that bad. I can't control my Twitch ads like I can control my YouTube ads, so I have no choice as to what you guys happen to see. I have a little more choice when it comes to my YouTube ads, because they use AdSense, and you can say, like, they give you huge lists of all the types of ads you could have, and you can say, I don't want this type of ad on my content, which is kind of cool. I like the control. And so it's like, do you want spiritual, crystal healing, astrology bullshit? Nope. Do you want religion? Nope. Do you want politics? Nope. Get out. Do you want phone games? Get out. And so you get to control it. Also, every single one that I clicked I don't like, there was a little warning that said, these are the most valuable, most lucrative ads. And you're like hamstringing yourself by not showing political ads to people or phone games or something like that. And I'm like, well, hey, fuck them. Get that shit out of here. All that stuff sucks. When COVID is finally done with, so about 2030 here in Florida. That's an ambitious estimate. So soon. Last time you got an ad, it was for whiskey. Hey, not bad. How viable is Knights of the Empty Throne, Slaves to Darkness? Arguably better than normal Slaves to Darkness. The shit's cash. It's very good. Still kind of waiting on some FAQs as to how to exactly handle some of those, like, 6 Vanguard count as a hero things. But it's sweet. It's sweet. Femonk asks, so on today's docket, are you going to cover, / how many articles are you going to go over? We're not going to, I'm not reading all these old articles. I might do one if it's really important. But there's a bunch of news. And we'll get to all of it. Some of it doesn't have to do with Games Workshop. It just happened while I was gone. And I was going to talk about it anyway. And there's 2 tier lists to do. One that is pertinent to Age of Sigmar. Are you saying the Games Workshop is trying to become big? Yes, they've always been trying to do that. It's just that sometimes their decision-making doesn't make much sense from the outside. Did I watch the Hammer and Bolter preview? Is that a Warhammer Plus thing? I did not. I didn't watch the Warhammer Plus thing. Warhammer Plus is just not for me. It's not for me. It's not marketed to me. I don't care. I saw their teaser trailers for all the Warhammer animations. I didn't feel tempted to watch any of them except for Astartes 2, because I liked Astartes 1, but not enough to pay for it. And that's where I sit on Warhammer Plus in its entirety. These are things that I maybe would have watched on YouTube for free, but honestly, probably not for all of them. I wouldn't have even watched almost all of these for free, because I didn't, and they were out there. Astartes is good. Vaguely want to watch the second one, but not enough to subscribe to Warhammer Plus. So, I mean, there we are. That's just my opinion on it. That's all. Hey, well, not to rush or anything, but if you're feeling better, you want to throw a tentative calendar spot out for a TTS game. Oh yeah, CJ Busta. We were going to play 2 Fridays ago, before I got the disease, and then destroyed it like Neo in the Matrix, as you saw in the intro. But yeah, ahem. Slide into my DMs and we'll figure out a date for that works around your schedule, CJ Busta, because you have a job. I too have a job, but my job is doing this. Hey, well, the Hammer and Bolter preview was also focused on 40k, so you probably didn't miss my. Okay, yeah, didn't look at it. Hey, well, shame to hear your OnlyFans got canceled. By the way, yeah, I didn't have an OnlyFans. Truth be told, here's my, the full history of HeyWoah and OnlyFans. Let's get into some deep lore here. At some point in the past, OnlyFans was invented and it became a website. Later on, I heard about OnlyFans, and I thought it was only like pictures and softcore and stuff like that of content creators and just people that viewerships have like weirdo parasocial relationships with, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Porn is free. What are you doing? But then I'm like, hold on. Yes, porn is free, but this is offering you weird parasocial stuff going on, right? Like, oh, this is a Twitch streamer I know, or this is a YouTube person I know, or this is somebody I follow on Twitter, and now I can go to their OnlyFans and look at softcore pictures of them. And I'm like, softcore? No thanks. And now, that news broke where OnlyFans is banning like sexually explicit content, and I had two Pikachu shocked faces. My first Pikachu shocked face was, holy shit, this is the worst business decision ever, right? Like they're lighting themselves on fire. This is the worst decision. How could they do this? And second, it was, they had hardcore before? Shit, dude, I'm missing out. I thought it was just like photo shoots and stuff. Who cares? Apparently they had the good stuff. I didn't even know. So I feel like I missed out. I mean, it's over, as of, I don't know, September or October. So, all right. I guess I missed out. Cheese stands alone. Don't go after weirdo parasocial relationships. You can't take. Yeah, I would recommend not. I would recommend not doing it. Anyway, let's talk about it just for a moment, shall we? OnlyFans says it is banning sexually explicit content. And so, like, your immediate take is this, right? This is the immediate take. Like, how, I can't believe you've done this, right? This is how Tumblr died. Like, this is the worst business decision ever. But you inevitably have to ask the question, but why? Why would you do this? Why would you light yourself on fire as a company? That seems weird. Oh, and obviously, like, we have these, right? Like memes. People just straight up memeing, Like the get a job take, the finally OnlyFans girls will have to get a real job take, which is just like the shittiest take. This right here is the shittiest take. We found it. You didn't have to wait very long. They brought it to you. You don't have to look for the worst take. This is it. It smells like I'm smelling. It feels like it's jealousy. It's like weird anger at somebody else for making a living. It's weird. This is weird and the worst take. The whole like real job thing. I don't understand people like that. Now they have to get a real job take. Like, I don't know how many jobs you chat have had in your life. Real jobs are trash, dude. Real jobs are trash. They are garbage. They are a garbage can. I've had many real jobs in my life, and they fucking sucked. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Jobs are trash. So anytime anyone finds a way to make ends meet or even excel without having a quote-unquote real job, like, I celebrate this fact. If it's OnlyFans, if you're a freelance artist, a Twitch streamer, YouTube, even Instagram, a musician or something, like, get that bag. in a way that doesn't involve a quote-unquote real job, because real jobs are fucking trash. And I find it strange and pitiable that there's a group of people that, like, they have a real job and it sucks and they hate it, right? And the only way they can cope with it is by, like, mentally tricking themselves into somehow feeling proud of this, like, shit sandwich they're eating. And then, like, they need to like attack other people who aren't eating the shit sandwich. It is fucking cringe, by the way. Everyone sells their body. That's what labor is. Like, if you're a construction worker, if you're a garbage man, if you code for 8 hours a day and get headaches all the time, if you're a football player whose knees are exploded at the age of 31, everyone sells their body in one way or another. So get owned. Anyway, why would they do this? Whomst can we blame? Especially ones who involve another human being on the other end. Yeah. The YouTube ContraPoints did a video on envy recently, which is relevant to what HeyWoah is saying. Would recommend. ContraPoints. I don't think I've heard of that. Is that like a infographic kind of YouTube thing? You're pretty sure Pornhub takes MasterCard? They do not. As a matter of fact, they don't as of last year. Why is the subscription site, which has grown in the pandemic over 130 million users, stepping away from pornography imagery? These changes are to comply with the requests of our banking partners and payout providers, it says. OnlyFans has been facing increasing scrutiny from payment providers regarding their content. In April, MasterCard announced a change to their policy which requires the banks that connect merchants to our network to certify that the seller of adult content has effective controls in place to monitor, block, and where necessary, take down all illegal content. Oh, okay. That seems reasonable, right? These changes are to come to fruition October 15, includes age and identity verification for content creators, content review process before publication, complaint review, then 7 days, and a stringent appeals process for content to be removed. All right, this sounds reasonable, right? You can't have, what's it called when they smuggle people? What is it? What's the thing everyone's always afraid of? Where they like kidnap people and trafficking. That, yeah, human trafficking. Gotta stop human trafficking by forcing porn places out of the mainstream and into checkintocash.rus for their payment processes. That'll fix it. Yeah, okay. MasterCard's decision was lobbied for by conservative groups such as National Center on Sexual Exploitation, formerly known as Morality in Media, and Exodus Cry. They've been targeting payment processors and credit card companies that work alongside pornographic sites under the guise of abolishing sex trafficking and exploitation. When news of OnlyFans' ban broke, it released a statement explaining the announcement is great because we hate sex, but it is not just MasterCard that are making trading difficult for the online sex industry. In December 2020, the card company stood with Visa in banning payments to MindGeek, the parent company of the pornography website, such as Pornhub. Aha. So could it really be the pearl-clutching, fun-detected, conservative, nanny-state bitches? Well, far be it from me to just talk about it. Let's hear it from them.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Okay, she brings up a good point. Maybe we'll just call it agree to disagree then, and go back to Warhammer. Hot take: targeting sex work is targeting women's power over men. Maybe in a strange philosophical way. If we trade money back and forth for boob and dick pics, we can kill the we could sink the economy, right? You saw the house. Oh yeah, I was maybe gonna talk about this if it came up, so I might as well now. You saw it. He bought a huge house. It's kind of nothing. I don't like. I've heard of him, but I haven't seen his stream. He bought a $3 million house in LA, and people say he's hypocritical because he earned his fortune streaming about how bad capitalism is and how great socialism is. So it's like bad optics, right? If you know, your stream is about how bad capitalism is, and then you become like a multimillionaire, right? Like, okay, it's just bad optics, though. I don't watch his stuff because I don't like it. I don't know if he's like true real socialism, or if he's just democratic socialism. If it's democratic socialism, I don't think the complainers have a leg to stand on. They're just butt mad, because that's just policy, and it doesn't matter. If he's like true socialism on the path to communism kind of thing, then yeah, okay, he's probably just a grifter. But I don't watch his stuff. I don't know too much about it. He bought a really expensive house with all of his money that he made. All right, it's his money. It's your money. Use it how you need it, or whatever the fucking commercial is, right? Socialism is when no house. Yeah, good one. Does socialism mean you can't have nice things? People who already don't like the guy probably think so, but I don't know. The only thing more cringe than Hassan are the people who like live rent free. You know, who can't get him out of their head, and they hate him and talk about how much they hate him all the time. And so I have this fascinating concept for people, and I follow it. And so far, it's done me pretty well. I tend not to watch things I don't like. Brilliant. In LA, a $3 million house is like a 2-bed, 2-bath. It's a 5-bed, 5-bath. I looked it up. But you're right. LA has a housing bubble, and everything's ludicrously expensive there. Which, for me, would be like, so then don't move there, right? But, hey, he wants to be in a happening city with a big house and money that he earned. Fair enough. You've made the money. Regardless of how you've done it, you know. Dr. Ruler, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. 4 months, not bad. Their comment is, speaking of watching things you like, I'm glad to see you didn't. HeyWoah, ahem yourself to death last week. Yeah, I survived. I got out of it. I did it. TY for the comment. I appreciate it. Isn't streaming and game playing a pretty communist job? Not at all. You're basically like, you are a variety show that people pay to watch. They don't have to pay to watch. They can watch ads instead, in which case they're still paying. They're just paying with time. Right? And so you have 2 ways to watch, right? Either you can watch for quote-unquote free, and your time is wasted by watching ads, or you can watch for not free, and your time is not wasted by ads, and also you get some perks. I have a service. You want this service, right? And so you give me the money, and I give you the show, and this is... Seems pretty capitalism to me. But then again, the definition of those political terms are so ridiculously charged by whatever the person happens to be talking about that it's almost like they don't even have a definition at all until you've talked to someone for 10 minutes and gotten to the nitty-gritty of what exactly their angle is. It's sort of like asking someone if they're a Christian, and they say yes. And so now you've narrowed it down to like 200 denominations and a spectrum of like how much they believe the random shit that's in the Bible or whatever, right? It doesn't really narrow it down until you get really specific. Shorty Paint Studios, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Their comment is 4 months of I like your stuff. Hey, thanks for liking my stuff. Also, thanks for finding my stuff. I appreciate it. HeyWoah News, woman is people, and you don't have to watch stuff you don't like more at 11. Yeah. Now, this isn't to say that you shouldn't criticize stuff that sucks. Criticism is very valuable and important. Under the umbrella of criticism, there exists memes that make fun of stuff. And I'm a lover of memes, and so I have to at least endorse a little bit of the umbrella if I want to endorse the specific. But there's a level of them living rent-free in your head that gets a little weird. And try to, deal with it. It's like, do I talk about mini wargaming every show? No. I try to bring it up fewer than once a month at best. Because at a certain point, it was just a one-time meme, and then people kept bringing it up, but it's like, let's move on. People who complain about OnlyFans always pretend that it's only girls who can sell nudes on there. Like, dude, you can sell your nudes on there if you want. We can all appreciate a bit of schlong from time to time. Yeah, plenty of guys are on OnlyFans. Plenty of washboard stomachs you could grill a fucking egg on, dude. Or that fucking Duke Nukem nice cock bro meme. That shit gets me. I can't do the Duke Nukem voice because to do it properly you need like a shitty like MP3 render kind of thing over your voice, God, I can't remember what YouTube channel that is. Gianna Divina or something like that, who does like a perfect Duke Nukem voice. Nice cock, bro. I rated 8 out of 10. Whatever. It's so good. It's so fucking funny. Being a streamer is very much a job-based meritocracy, where if you provide a product people want, you get the traffic. Yeah, did it, Dr. Dead. It's like, obviously there's stuff out of your control, and that initial like critical spark, that inciting incident that gets you your first like group of people watching you, is often by chance, you getting lucky, someone rating you, whatever. Like, yeah, there's of course luck in it, but it is pretty meritocratic. Is that a word? You think those types would be all over something like that. Matragrano, that's it. Yeah, I knew it was a big old name. Are you going to rate the grips? Yeah, we'll rate the grips. I feel like that's fair enough. The C1 app. Hey, thanks for the big primer, dude. I appreciate it. TY for the primer. Meritocratic is a word. You do not have a red squiggly under the word. Oh, perfect, yeah. Let's rate some griffs, shall we? Look at this fucking armor. He's so huge. I love the Hulkbuster, like, hold on, let's enhance. To me, the tiny head, big body meme is so good that it's starting to infest, like, reality. We're starting to get legitimate art that's almost the big body, tiny head meme. I'm pleased. When the Stormcast Eternals go to war, they are accompanied by griff beasts of many varieties, feathery companions that are as savage in combat as they are unerringly loyal. Kind of weird. They come in all shapes and sizes, from nimble griff hounds on the hunt with a night judicator, to swift griff chargers pulling magnificent stormstrike chariots. Here at Warhammer Community, we are experts on all things fluffy. Alright, cool. A chariot's a chariot. Chariot Gamers Rise Up. You guys probably saw this already because I'm catching up on old news, but Chariot Gamers Rise Up. You wanted it and you got it, and it's being pulled by Griff Doggos. Fun. Wabalago, thanks for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. Kids trying to emulate the success of streamers on Twitch and YouTube is the 2020s equivalent of creating a band in the garage with your mates. Yeah, in the 80s and early 90s. Some will, but it's a vanishingly small chance. Yep. 1 in a million. Literally. Hold up. Twitch stats. Currently, there are 680,626 active streamers right now. People who have streamed in the last 3 months, there are 1.6 million. And the percentage of streamers that have enough subs and viewers to, like, make the equivalent of waitressing at Denny's is, like, 4%. And the amount of streamers that are able to make, like, a decent, like, 9 to 5 level, $300, $400 a week kind of living is like closing in on 2%. Like it's, when I said 1 in a million, I was closer than you might be comfortable with. Yeah, less than 3% have more than 10 viewers, Shorty Paint Studios, depending on which site you're looking at for tracking. Yeah, so you're saying there's a chance. It's not just rolling the dice, though. You aren't just flipping a coin until it lands on tails and trying to see if you got the 1 in a million. Like, there's other stuff to it, but if you look at the end result, you can say that that's the amount. You're literally in, like, the 1% of viewers. My viewership, I think, it depends on what site you look at that tracks it, but my viewership is something like 1.9%. Like, I'm in the 1%. Or I'm hovering towards the 1%. But I'm not exactly killing it. I'm making less than what I was doing freelance editing, but I'm having a lot more fun with it. I didn't like my old job, and I like my new job. And I'm single. I don't have a family to look after. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't generally go out and spend money and buy stuff. I don't go drinking. I don't collect cars or any... I don't even buy magic cards anymore, really. I still only have 2 armies. It's fine. I'll take a pay cut if it means I like my job. I'm in a situation to be able to do that. Some people are not in a situation to be able to make that choice, and that sucks. Stop describing my life. Hey, it just means I'm one of the people. I'm just like you. I'm just as sad as you. I heard a noise. Some Norwegian dude donated $100. Huge. Right after I just talked about how poor I was. Thanks. I appreciate it. He said, welcome home, big whoa. Oh, it's a Persona 4 meme. I really like this one. Thanks a lot, some Norwegian dude. Appreciate it. Thanks, Nanako. What's my approximate hobby spending? If that's something you're willing to disclose. Of course, yeah, I'll disclose that. No problem. The average month, I spend $0 on Age of Sigmar. I don't buy stuff. I'm slowly painting my Beastclaw army, and then I have a bunch of Idoneth Deepkin left over from 2 years ago that I'm coming to terms with the fact that I may never paint. And that's it. Average month, I don't get anything. When I have time, I work on my Beastclaw stuff, and that's about it. What's the mean dollars spent over all years of hobbying, says Snowcade? Let's see. I have about 3,000 points of ogres, so I purchased that. Some of them were pre-assembled from some dude on Facebook for literally 40% of, like, ticket price, you know? One was an Icewind Assault box, back when they still sold that thing, so I was at a bit of a discount. And the Idoneth Deepkin stuff, I bought half of it, and the other half we happened to just win from events and like, going to some Dragonfall tournament and like, winning a box of Idoneth from a raffle and stuff like that. So, I would say I've probably spent, like, $1,000 max on Age of Sigmar stuff, from armies to models to paints and everything like that, over the last 4 years. And I haven't bought anything in the past year, probably. Besides Yetis, if I can find somebody to 3D print them, that's coming up as soon as I can find it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not buying stuff a lot of the time. I'm usually delaying working on it. I haven't even bought the General's Handbook yet, as a matter of fact, because there hasn't been an event in person, so I haven't needed it. I still haven't gotten that thing. I mean, yeah, with Beastclaw, you probably don't need any more models, right? I mean, yeah, I don't. I tend to just get... exactly what my 2K army is, and then some other random stuff, and then just slowly paint it. And I don't even really, like, want more. If someone sent me, like, a Stonehorn, I'd be like, thanks. I really appreciate, like, it would be a very nice thing for someone to do, but if I wanted another Stonehorn, I would buy another Stonehorn. For some reason, I'm just able to control my purchases, I guess. I heard a noise. Dinma, hey, thanks a lot for the $120. Huge, dude. Big donation. Thanks a lot. He says, did I miss the 2-week buildup of Hobby, or is that coming up? Oh, boy. Actually, almost no one sent me anything as far as Hobby in the lead-up. So, unless they did and I just, in a fever, I was clicking and it disappeared from my brain. I mean, that could have happened. My brain was in a frying pan for literally a week. I had a fever the whole time. So it's possible that I'm going to click on my DMs now and just see like a million messages. That might happen. So. It's all about the commission life, but they never get to paint your army again. Oh, yeah. That's true, Shorty. HeyWoah leading the GW boycott. Yeah, I'm like that Blizzard meme, you know, that was going around where it's from The Office and the dude's getting his hand shaken like really awkwardly and he's given something. And it's like me being congratulated for boycotting Blizzard for their awful business and sexual harassment practices, but actually I just quit 4 years ago because their game sucks. It was a little bit like that, except not as bad for the GW boycott, because I rather like the game. It's just I've bought all the things I'd like to buy, that's all. And they keep releasing stuff that I don't want to buy, which I'm not sad about. Not everything has to appeal to me. You want to appeal to all sorts of people. They want to appeal to a lot of people with this Warhammer Plus thing, I don't care about it. They want to appeal to people with more orcs and more Stormcast, I don't care. Not for me. Dragons are cool, and some of the like orc on mount stuff is pretty cool, but I'm not going to buy it. Are we allowed to send HeyWoah Stonehorns? Please don't somehow find out my address, I guess. And just start sending me stuff. I feel weird about it. You send me a Stonehorn, now I gotta paint the goddamn thing. And I have plenty of Stonehorns already. I don't mean to look a gift horse in the mouth or anything like that. I'm mostly being funny. But anyway, thanks for the thought. Which of the 13 plagues did you have? Did it have a name? No, I never found out what it was. But you know what? It wasn't COVID. It was not COVID because, well, first of all, a doctor told me it wasn't COVID. And I tend to believe my doctor. My doctor also tells me to lose weight and stop vaping. And so the man's got a good head on his shoulders. He's really just knocking him out. But he said it wasn't COVID. Because first of all, I was vaccinated, and second of all, it wasn't COVID. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. There's just some like super bad cold going around where you have a fever for a week, and it's really bad, but it doesn't have symptoms of COVID. Like there's no breathing struggles or anything like that, and it was something. It was a virus of some sort, but. Plan, send you a Stonehorn to send to HeyWoah to paint. Yeah, there you go. A telephone game. Anyway, let's talk. Azir Unleashed. After this unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy unit within one. Roll number of dice equal to the modified charge roll. For each 4-up, unit suffers a mortal wound. This is an ogre rule. They just took my ogre rule. They took everything. They took everything from me. You got Redeemer units counting as 3 for capturing. You have monsters counting as 5 all over the place. You have my impact hits on Stonehorn stuff.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night.
Alright, I wonder if I'll be able to... Can I deal with this? Can I have anything? Why are ogres here? Just to suffer? God damn it. Glitch, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Their comment is, the big is back in town. Hey, thanks. Also, I got new memes, by the way. You guys hear the new meme? I got an I'm sad meme, which you just heard. That's the Metal Gear, why are we still here? Good one, right? I got Reggie. I got one for, like, when you're confused about something. Check it out. All right, meme. New meme review. Are we prepared? All right, let's go.
What's wrong with you?
That one's great. I'm gonna get a lot of use out of that one. Classic. I have no idea what I'm gonna use this next one for, but it's here.
Pop. Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking dude. That's a real product. I ripped that from their site myself. It's this fucking popcorn machine that you say pop and it like shoots one popcorn kernel at your face. And they were like advertising it. And the dude on the phone, oh god, he's so confident, right? Like in his head, he is the fucking man right now, right? Yeah. It's so good. I have to watch it again because he's so fucking content with himself.
Pop. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, let me get back to business here. It's so good. I don't know when I'll be able to use that one, but it's a good one. Stopping to get some help. Oh yeah, I need the Michael Jordan one for the get some help. Good call out, Kartor. That one is perfect for waifu purposes. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But also I don't understand it because I'm 12. I know exactly what you're going to use that for, the bullshit that you don't give a fuck about. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, talk to me, Jim. We got a neuralizer. I have an updated neuralizer for when I screw up. And I'll have chat. If you could all just stare at the center of the Twitch screen for a moment. There's a special announcement. Just real quick. Alright. There we go. So that's if I mess up. Use the pop meme for when GW writes a shit roll and they think is OP, but is actually bad. Yeah, true. Yeah, HeyWoah's back. Who are you? Yeah, good one. Playing along. Ooh, and I updated the fun meme. Check it out. It's fun. Remember fun. I decided to record myself saying that so I didn't have to say it all the time. I might include that, like, wow noise from Halo or whatever. Like when the grunt dies and it has like all the children like cheering. I might add that to it. So Norwegian dude donated $30. Hey, thanks a lot. SND. Can I call you SND? His comment is, I might lose the all-time to CJ Busta at this point, but I will live on in the streets before letting Dinma out-simp me. Hey, no problem. I really appreciate all of your donations and support. And also, it's not a competition. And thanks a lot, everyone. Even the 1-bit people. Maybe not the 1-bit people. 2 bits. 2 bits or I don't give 2 shits. Even the primes, everybody. I appreciate it a lot. The guy at the computer going, oh shit, I'm okay would be a good one, yeah. Happy to see me healthy. Hey, thanks Pax Virtua, I appreciate it. I'm doing a little bit of meme review because I added more memes to my little loadout here. I got a loadout of memes. And some of them I don't know what I'm going to use. I have Eris telling people that anime is trash. I'm not sure when I'll use this one.
The truth is, anime is trash. And fuck you.
Some people have said that I am diet caffeine-free Eris. And I disagree. His beard is even better. I'm not even diet. It's like worse than that. It's like seltzer water version of Eris. He's also like a way better streamer than me. So 100 bits. Thanks, the Lord Whale. Forgot to renew my HeyWoah Plus subscription. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thanks for the bits. And Ortorius for 5 bits. I care. I care about 5 bits. 1, 5, big. He is right. I love his laugh at the end. That fixes it. It makes everything for me. Because he's got the like villain laugh. Like it felt so good to get it out. He just had to. Did you see Tom Lyons won NashCon? I saw Tom Lyons won NashCon 5-0. All secondaries. He not only won NashCon, he smashed NashCon. I think actually somebody else was 5-0 too, though. I don't really look at standings. I look at record, because that's the only thing to me that matters. 5-0, 4-1, 3-1-1, stuff like that. Was he literally like first place, or did he just go 5-0 and the other dude got it? Regardless, well deserved for sure, and well played, of course, and with an army that some people say isn't the best right now, which is true. But those people don't know that being really good matters way more than what army you're playing. And I'm tired of pretending it's not. For a while. Can we get a Garuga Mesh meme? Oh, the classic? Yeah. The Garuga Mesh meme. I'm a meme historian. You can't go back farther than me. That's not something to be proud of, by the way. We can't show our power level. Yeah, he won swords. It was sweet. Yeah, he got first place and best painted, 5-0. He won 2... Oh, he's a dual wielder? Shit, dude. That's sick. Tom Lyons officially better at Age of Sigmar than HeyWoah. I've never gotten first place, and I've never gotten best painted, and I've won 0 swords. I'm 0 for 3. Dancing baby meme? Oh, come on. I mean, that meme fucking sucked, first of all, but yes, I do remember it. A fine vintage meme, yeah. Read his post on Twitter about his opponent. What was it? Is it one of those good? Is it one of those good Twitter posts about a good opponent, or a bad one about a bad opponent? It might be his first tournament win as well. I think it is his first tournament win. No, I believe he's won first place before, but he was part of a team, so I don't know if that counts. No, ignore, it's nonsense. Okay. The Cheese Stands Alone donated $8.01. A very specific amount, but also I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. He says, in before Puritans outlaw the hot hobby picks and sultry rules discussion. Hey, good comment, and thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. Once again, a donation that evaded the Bezos' grimy hands. One critique of the sword is, did that have to use the same font as Hitler Youth Knife? What? The sword? I have no idea. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's the case. I don't know if it's an accident. I don't know anything about that situation. His opponent asked him to re-rack middle of top of 1. Oh, I guess I could get into it and find the tweet, but I'll chill on that. We got a lot to talk about. Can we go back to deployment? It's called Bavarian Script, or I guess it would be Reichland for Warhammer. Oh, okay, so it's just like a font that's been used for a lot of things, but also is used for a bad thing. Something out of nothing kind of things. Ride the Winds Etheric, okay. Instead of picking this unit to make a normal move or retreat, you can say it will ride. If you do, remove it from the battlefield, set it up more than 1 from all terrain features. And, oh, okay. Used to be riding the Winds Etheric, you would roll like 66 and then go in a straight line in a weird direction. Kind of a weird rule. Now it's just a teleport. Honestly, it's probably functionally the same on the table. Ride the Winds Etheric, it feels like just easier to use the ability. It's simpler and ends up doing the same thing, especially with a smaller table. I mean, it's better than it used to be, but not bad. We need a HeyWoah and Tom show. I usually don't have other people on my show because it's hard enough for me to get my sound right. And you can hear the AC in the background, proving my point. But I don't know how to handle it when other people are on. I'm not like one of the shows that has a bunch of guests on all the time. It's not my gimmick. My gimmick is talking to chat all the time, and sometimes wasting way too much time talking to chat so that the show just fully stops. but the show doesn't stop because the show is talking to chat, because that's the Twitch gimmick. Get owned. Warning cry. If an enemy reserve unit or summoned unit is set up on the battlefield for the first time within 12, you can pick up to 3 to shoot it. Yeah, okay, so it's the same thing as Grifthounds kind of used to be, although I think it was 9 inches. I don't think it was 12. It might have been 12. I can't quite recall. After this unit has fought, all of its attacks have been resolved. It can retreat 6. Strong. Very strong ability. Even on a unit that is trash and does nothing, this is a strong ability. To be able to retreat 6 after attacking. Very strong. Even on something that is crap. It was 9? Okay, I was remembering it right. There's a show. Kinda. It's kind of a show. 3 units. Yeah, the ballistas. It would have been like 1 unit, but they won't let you take ballistas in like units of 2, 3, or 4 still. I think this is kind of telling us that the ballista aren't going to be unitable. They're going to be single. Still in the new thing. Griff Oberwall? Who the fuck is this? Ugly. Ugly not Stormcast. Dude. Good bird, though. Oh, it's a Blood Bowl thing. No wonder I don't like the sculpt. Alright. Accidental shots fired. I didn't mean it. Blood Bowl isn't for everyone. Am I the only one that finds the article's stat cards a bit cringe? I mean, part of doing a company, like, community article like this is that you really get into your own smell here, and it gives you license to do things that some may consider cringe. It's not too bad. I mean, they're just like rating 10 overall every time. Like, they're rating themselves. You know, they're giving themselves all the military badges on their North Korean buddies, right? It's just sort of like nothing, right? Oh, cuteness 8. Oh, why not 9? They're just typing random numbers in there. Oh, and they included the guy from the webcomic. That's cool. Nice little call out. This is a meme article to announce the Battle Tome delay date. Yeah, it is. Because if you scroll down a little bit, where is it? While we'd previously hoped you'd be poring over pages of Grift-based content in the new Stormcast Eternals Battle Tome this month, not even Sigmar's Chosen are immune to the ongoing global disruption. Hey, no problem. Rest assured that the Stormcast Eternals and Orc Warclans Battle Tomes will both be available to pre-order in September. You heard it here first. You literally heard it here first, because the last time you heard it was August. Now it's soon. Now it's September. Will it become soon again, and then October? Only time will tell. I wouldn't set your clock. It's probably going to be September. Imagine delaying it twice, right? But then again, I don't give a shit. Hey, release the stuff when you're ready, it's fine. I don't mind. The only thing I do mind is, like, when you come out with a new edition, you should have every battle tome ready at that exact moment to release all at once. Like, imagine 6th edition Dungeons & Dragons comes out, and the only classes are Fighter and Wizard. All the other classes just don't appear. You have to use the 5th edition ones for 1 calendar year until you get 6th edition characters. I know that's not the same. And I know it's probably not very feasible for them to release every new battle tome with an edition update. But it'd be cooler if you did. The Chariot has a spear option. Yep. Poll seems to think September 11th. Yeah, never forget. I agree. I clicked September 11th as well on that poll. SG Arcade. We know the reason they don't release all the battle tomes and it's money. Yeah, because if you release them all at once, people are less likely to buy everything they would have if you drip fed them. And if there's been nothing for 2 months and then some third army you were maybe kind of working on comes out, maybe I'll buy that, you know. It's better for them. It's just worse for us, that's all. Just want to point out that the box that Sleek comes in is literally the worst box you can buy for Stormcast. Not only is it 3 monopose castigators for MSU 05, it's also 1 random Gryph-hound. And also that them and Glaive Wraith Stalkers are the only Underworld's warbands that don't have unique rules for AOS. Oh no. Complaints received. Would you rather not get any new rule updates for an entire edition? Would I rather... So, like, the choice I have to make is no rules updates for an edition, or humongously slow, like, 2 rules updates every 6 months after an edition. I would say hold off on the edition until you're ready, until the stuff is there. That's what I would prefer. I know that's not how they could do it, and it's not even financially right to do it that way, but that's the way I want it, right? And I'm the customer, and the customer is always selfish and doesn't think about anything but themselves. And so you gotta play the part sometimes. DK Ratesberg, thanks for the big primer, dude. I appreciate it. Their comment is, whoa. Hey, good comment. Thanks for the primer. I appreciate. Anyway, historically speaking, I've always been of the opinion that they should give themselves longer to work on battle tomes and rules and stuff, because it seems like they're rushed. And when I read through the battle tomes, it's like clear to me that they were rushed in making them, and they just like weren't done and weren't even close to done, and they were just told like it has to, like it's done, it has to be done right now, you're done. I mean, maybe they spent a lot of time on them and they're just like, you know, incompetent at writing any more than 1 good artifact in an entire book or something like that. But you know what I mean? Like, it feels like they're rushed. And I would be like, hey, chill. Spend an extra month on the Ogre book. Spend an extra month writing the Iron Jaws book. No big deal. I'll wait. I'll wait, man. But I'm probably the minority. And also, if you look at social media and people's responses to them delaying Orcs and Stormcast, right? People are furious at them, right? I can't believe this is, you know, it's been 2 months and these things should have been released before. So it's kind of like they have 2 voices talking at them. It's my voice talking at them, and that my voice is saying, hey, if you need an extra month to write rules so that they're real good, do it, man. I'm going to be playing with those rules for 2 years, right? Take a little extra time. And then like a giant ocean of people screeching at them when stuff is like 1 month late. And so who are they going to listen to? They're going to be like, oh shit, releasing stuff late is the worst thing we could ever do. We need to rush even more. You don't think the delays are due to them revising rules, though? That is a good point, Monia, and that is very different. It's sort of like why, let's say somebody said, man, this battle tome feels rushed, I don't like it. And then that same person is upset that the Stormcast battle tome hasn't come out for 2 months. That person isn't a hypocrite because you're talking about 2 different places in the pipeline. One place is the very, very end of the pipeline, like things are shipping, right? And the other thing is the very beginning of the pipeline where they're writing rules. I want more time in the rule writing place. And then over here in the release place, I don't give a shit. And so these are super different. The stockholders. I don't know why stockholders are so ruinous, but it seems almost ubiquitous. In any like company or industry you care about, it seems like the excuse is always, oh, the stockholders don't want this, and so that's why. And then some dominoes fall, and like the product you thought was going to be better was shit. It's like, are they responsible for every bad thing? Weird. Like, maybe they are, I don't know, but I feel like they might be getting scapegoated. Or they really are, like, responsible for the worst shit and being the most short-sighted possible and not caring about quality or anything like that. If so, fuck them. Same people that were excited about having the Necrons be the first codex are now complaining that their codex was the first one and not as good as the later released ones. Well, that would be solved by, like, internal and external balance, right? Having an overseeing developer in charge of the balance of the game. And so if they don't have somebody doing that, or the person doing that isn't doing a good job, then, well, consider getting someone who does a good job at that. Or someone who is allowed the time and means to do a good job. I don't know. It might not be that they're bad at their job. They're just not given the opportunity to. So it seems like there's a third option that makes everybody happy. But that's in my super genericized view. Calling it now between Stormcast and Swamp Boy relics. Over or under 3 good relics in the new books. Total, amongst both books. I think it's more than 3. I think there will be 4 good artifacts. 4 good artifacts across both books. Wait, hold on. Dude, Orcs is 4 armies now. 4 armies. Bigger Waaagh. Bigger Waaagh is Big Waaagh, Iron Jaws, Bone Splitters, and Cool Boys. There are 4 armies in that book. There has to be at least 1 good artifact for each army, right? Well, Big Waaagh doesn't have artifacts. They're just able to take the ones from the other. So technically it's only 3, I guess. I'm going to say that Stormcast will have 2 good artifacts. And then the Orcs will have 1 good artifact per army. So I say the bottom is 5. My minimum good artifacts across both books total, 5. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but that's my suspicion. Low-key Liesmith, hey, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Their comment was big and then HeyWoah. Good comment. Thanks a lot. Nice one. Because you get all the stuff for playing the small armies. If you're playing Big Waaagh, yeah, true. Clipped? Yeah, clipped and clip-pilled. You think they will go away with locked relics for allegiance bonuses? I wonder. I don't know what they'll do with Bigger Waaagh. I assume that each of the sub-armies will get 6 artifacts to choose from. And then Bigger Waaagh, you can just pick whatever artifact the guy is allowed to have. Probably. Hey, well, can we talk about Vanguard for a hot second? I'm about to push the order button on 1 box of 3. I'm sort of hearing the gist of them is to run 6 or 9 with Archaon in Knights of the Empty Throne. Any tips to make 3 work so I don't have to dump an army's worth of oil money on it? To me, they're like... So playing Archaon and then running Vanguard as battle line is one thing. And then Knights of the Empty Throne is kind of like another thing. Where you use generally a unit of 6, which is what I've seen, as like a hero slot, and you deck them the fuck out and they're awesome. And then the rest of the army could be whatever. I feel like 3, if you're trying to make like a good stuff STD, you know? Like just good stuff, Slaves to Darkness, you're not jumping on the Archaon train, you're not trying to play Kairo's Fate Weaver and, you know, weirdo stuff like that. If you're just making like good stuff STD, 3 Vanguard as super elite Cav that you're able to buff somehow, I think it's fine. I think they can do decent work. I don't think it's worth stressing out over too much. It's going to be like a little expensive points-wise, sure, but they have the tools to survive. Or they have the tools to do a job pretty well. Just as like a elite cav, striker kind of unit. They take the War Shrine buff like nobody else. Yes, they do. Buff them up and make sure to get your value. Sometimes they'll get killed, sure, but I think they'll be fine as a 3 of. As a 3 of puzzle piece. Odd question. If both books come out on the same day, which one will you cover? Or will you do a double feature? Good question. Both books come out on the same day. Going over a battle tome for just like reactions takes forever. It's an entire show to do one. It's like 4 hours, So, I don't know, I'd probably do like some Twitter poll and see what the people want. One would be Monday, one would be Friday. And whoever votes, I'd let the people decide. And then I would make the final choice because I always keep final cut as a director. You can't let chat have too much power. But I'm interested in your input. And I don't really have a horse in the race. I don't really care. So I'd probably just make a Twitter poll and whatever people wanted first, that's what they would get. In Warhammer, a new edition happens because GW feels like it. In D&D, a new edition happens because Hasbro silently knifed everyone who worked on the previous one. Maybe. I feel like GW makes a new edition once everyone has rules. Once everyone finally has updated rules, they immediately make a new edition so that it's ruined. And it becomes haves and have-nots all over again. I don't know why Hasbro makes new editions or what they do to wait for it or whatever. I haven't looked into it too much. Maybe when they see that Pathfinder has a 3rd edition come out in between, they're like, oh shit, a big rival just did something, so now we have to too. I'm not sure. I don't know what their pipeline's like. Hades Death God asks, is Friday still the EU friendly time? Yeah, it is. Yep. Still doing one EU friendly time a week. For those VoD watchers. For the VoD watchers. Solid Gold Dog. Hey, good name. Thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Their comment is, good to have you back. Thanks. I appreciate it. Good comment. I'm seeing how long my voice can go. I'm suffering like 10% only of effects. Of sickness effects. And so, this is a play by ear. Ahem. Play it by ear. Davey Chappie has some good videos on D&D history and why new editions happen. I might be interested in watching that. I might be old enough and nerdy enough to watch that on the other monitor while I'm making memes for Age of Sigmar or writing the script for the next video. I mean, I watched the EverQuest developer diaries, right, for EverQuest 1. I'm old enough to do that. I'm old enough to watch a history of D&D editions, right? Can he go the distance? Is HeyWoah going for speed? Ah, the Cake quotes. Good one. Cake was good fun, IMO. Although their lead singer had some heinous drinking problems, and it made the one show I went to really awful. But still, I liked their music a long time ago. You're only using 10% of your power, yeah. IMO, the gameplay perspective, you think at most you want 2 editions a decade. This might be bad from a business perspective, though. Yeah. A lot of times you have to choose the worst business decision to make the quality of the product be there, if you care about the quality of your product, and many people don't. Most of the most lucrative and wealthiest and biggest examples of anything you're thinking of care about quality a lot less than the ones who are less successful, and that's just kind of how it is, right? Pathfinder is based. I played a lot of Pathfinder in my day, although I really like 5th edition. I kind of, to me, 5th edition really was like grabbing the reins and steering the train back onto the tracks. It's not the most amazing edition or anything, but I think it saved it from flying off the cliff. Where are those developer diaries on YouTube? Yeah, they're on YouTube. Some dude dude has less subscribers than me, okay? Like, he's, for working on the most important, like, first full 3D MMO that a bunch of people quit and made World of Warcraft from, you know, like, such a big, important thing, quote unquote. Like, nobody watches his stuff. He's super tiny. He's like, had Discord interviews with all the original developers, all, like, artists, the people who did the music, like, for original EverQuest, and then Kunark and Velios, SOL era, even the stuff later on that no one gives a fuck about, like anything that happened after Planes of Power. And they're all like 2 hours long, and they're like interviews of these people. And every single story is the same. Every single story is like, man, how come this horrible thing happened? Where the game was released and like this huge problem happened and nobody ever went to this zone, or this awful thing. Like, what were you thinking when it came to this itemization or this raid thing? Or who made, you know, Plane of Earth and the least fun boss fight ever? That, like, every single like negative question like that about the absolute shit that was later on EverQuest, the answer was always, one guy had to make that in 3 days with no testing, and then they shipped it. And it was just, that was the answer every single time for everything. And once you've listened to like 30 hours of that, it puts it into perspective a lot. You start to look at things from a different angle. You stop thinking about things in terms of bin guy and sin guy. And you start thinking about it in terms of people who are in charge of scheduling and managing and planning don't give creators enough time to do literally anything. And everything is the people in charge's fault for doing so. And it's overwhelmingly likely that it's not incompetence. It's a timetable that doesn't allow even somebody who's amazing, they couldn't do a good job. It's like, how much time do you need to do a great job at this? Okay, that much time? Cool. We're giving you this much time. Go, or you're fired. And it's just that every fucking time. And this is the case in most MMOs, and this is the case in most video games. And in fact, this is the case in most companies. It is true that some people that work for these companies are incompetent, right? But if you're going to go for Occam's rate, like, what's more likely? The more likely thing is they were given 1/8 of the time that any reasonable person could be expected to do something, instead of just like they're bad at their job. Like, you think somebody took any more than 14 minutes in Adobe Illustrator to make those original Age of Sigmar maps? That's why they look like that. Because somebody was forced to do that in 15 minutes. And they had no time to do a second one. They weren't allowed. Like, that's why they look that bad. Ahem. Hasbro owns D&D. Yeah, Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast, which owns D&D. As of, I can't remember when. On a completely random tangent, HeyWoah, how are you enjoying your new job, focusing on streaming and YouTube? I like it a lot. I feel like I'm not releasing enough YouTube videos. Okay, besides the 2 weeks that I was super fucking sick, right? And the 2 months that I was taking care of my dying grandmother. And some COVID stuff. So, like, besides that, I'm not releasing enough content. But remember what we just said, remember what we just talked about. I want my content to be good. As such, should I release it tomorrow? I could make a video in one day. It would be shit, but I could do it, and I won't, because I'm my boss. I'm the boss. I have to be aware that people really want, you want more videos, because you like my videos, because you found them and you enjoy them. But why did you enjoy them? You enjoyed them because they were good, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that. And I work glacially slowly, and I will not stop apologizing for it, but there it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's literally the same story in original AOS. The interview with one of the original writers back in 2015 confirmed that the playtesters said, hey, this shit is bad, and the heads above them said, nah, push it out anyways. Yep, same story. Same story always. Same story always. People above are like, nope, just ship it. Just fucking ship it. And then when people don't like it, those people who said ship it point down at the people they told, you're done, you can't work on it anymore, and they said, you're bad, you did a bad job. You wonder what the best video is that you could make in one day? I could make like a true clickbait meme video, I guess, in one day. Like just edit something from my Twitch show or whatever. But if I tried to do like a real video in one day, it would be awful. It would look like a lot of videos you've clicked on, probably. You think, hey, well, we enjoyed those videos, are good. We want quality over... Wait, you want quality over quality? Is that a typo? Thanks to State of Kevin. Yeah, feeling a little bit better. I still have 10% of the symptoms maybe, but good enough for a stream at least. I'm like sweating. The AC is on. But so far the voice is holding out for the most part. My life has been super shit. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. HeyWoah 2021 colorized. Hey, a lot of people are eating a shit sandwich, alright? Basically everyone has to eat a shit sandwich. And a lot of people's lives are shit. So, it's not a competition. I'm not one of those. Right? Oh, you think your last month sucked? Well, I'm gonna win this competition. Okay, dude. It's not a competition. Problem is that upper management has super unrealistic expectations, not just on time, but how much it costs to do something well without killing employees. You come across this daily with execs at your work. Why is that the case? Is it because it just works anyway? Because everybody goes and sees Fast and Furious 10 anyway, and so what does it matter if the movie's good? You know? I wonder why that's the case. Do I remember the content creator for those dev? Let me, here, I will actually try to look it up. My YouTube history here. History. I'm doing this for you, chat. The person is called A Loving Robot. That is the channel name. A Loving Robot. And he's done a whole bunch of EverQuest history, talking with, you know, co-founder of Sigil, the artist who worked on original EverQuest, the person who was the art director lady on original EverQuest, person who did dungeons and zones and designed this and that, so on and so forth. The person is called A Loving Robot. They have 747 subscribers. They're smaller even than me. And most of the videos have like 1,000, 2,000 views maybe. Nobody watches this, but I found it really interesting, and so there it is. Ahem. This EQ nerd appreciates you. Yeah, I listened to probably 30 hours of that stuff while I was sick. It was that and VTubers. It was back and forth. Every 2 hours, I would switch it up to get that strawberry. And you need that strawberry and cream pure mix, right, of fever-induced hysteria, where it's 2 hours and 40 minutes of this kid who got recruited by Brad McQuaid when he was 18 and like idolized him, and then like did tons of work on EverQuest for the next 6 years, and then moved to Vanguard, and talked about all the like creating all the items and creating the raid zones and all this stuff. And then right after that, fucking V Shoujo for like 3 hours. And then after that, back to talking to the original art director lady who worked on original EverQuest. And then we're back, right? No mukbang streams. No mukbang. I don't actually like watching people eat. I think it's weird. It's not for me. I know it exists. I'm glad it exists because people like it, but you can't find someone hot enough for me to want to watch them eat. That's probably a lie, but it feels like it's true. Hades Death God, hey, thanks for the gifted sub. It landed on a person. I appreciate it. Appreciate. Ahem. You think it's twofold, budget constraints and the profit margins as well. For a lot of companies, it works out anyways, as they have employees who are invested enough to do amazing work regardless of those constraints. I guess you get people really excited to work for you with this mystique, you know? And they'll produce good work even if the person at the helm is, like, insane. Just pointing in random directions. Thanks to Commissar Potato. I appreciate you finding my stuff and also liking my stuff. That's why crunch is such an issue in the video game industry? Yes. Yeah. It's almost like it's a continual state of crunch. If only they would just set releases properly. But I guess it's just way less profitable to do that somehow. Did you happen to catch yesterday's VTuber Fest? Oh, you mean HoloLive EN Wave 2? I mean, what's that? I'm 12. I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. Just if you could look at the center of your screen, chat, really quickly, just right in the center of the screen. Right, just get your attention. Thank you. Okay. All right, moving on. You wish you could reconnect with a few people you knew back in the old days of EQ? Yeah, true. So it's like the entire system of people making horrible decisions because they, in one way or another, have to either by law or coercive forces, like if they don't work, they starve. Did HeyWoah just flex it? No, I mean, you guys saw the screen. Nothing happened. Yep, nothing happened here. I think a really good look at the health of corporate cultures, regards, and expectations is the Battletech video game is a fantastic example. They set realistic feature expectations and extended deadlines when they need to make quality. Awesome. I love to see it. So much of the best stuff ever, in retrospect, happens because they were given enough time to do so. And I know that making a quick buck is like the way to do it, but it's like the heroes get remembered, but legends never die. I mean, you look back on stuff like, people fondly look back and are like, this is one of the best things ever, you know, because they really took the time to do it. Or it was lightning in a bottle, and it'll never happen again, and it was just pure luck and skill. Ahem. Age of Sigmar. This won't take long. I've done it already. Age of Sigmar 2021 Factions Power Levels 3rd Edition Tier List. Are you ready? Enhance. I've done it already. Because here's some important news that's not news if you've been watching me ever. S tier for almost always wins is being better than your opponent. F tier almost always lose is being worse than your opponent. If at all possible, try to do this one. This is the best faction in Age of Sigmar, and it can't be denied. Unequivocally, the strongest faction in the entire game is being better than the opponent. It is more impactful that you be better than your opponent than any army choices. with some possible... Okay, it's stretching it. At times, if it's AA versus D, you're stretching it a little bit, right? But it is the best faction. Now, being worse than your opponent, you got an uphill battle. The struggle is real, okay? There's things you can do, right? Like, you can be worse than your opponent and be running the best list in the entire game, whatever it happens to be. Gotrek plus whatever, Legion of the First Prince, Pink Horrors, Kairos, whatever. Like, just pick your list somebody says is the best army in the game. That might make up for being, like, way worse than your opponent, but not even that sometimes. You 100% agree? Your Aussie BOC guy who goes 4-1 on the regular. Look at where KO is right now. I don't think this is very controversial. KO is fat middle, like honest fight, lower fat middle right now. Tom Lyons just 5-0'd NashCon with KO. Got every secondary. Does that mean KO is better? No, it means he's really good. Nurgle could actually go up a little bit, I think. Nurgle lands here based on statistics and win rate and stuff, but like personally, I think it's actually in good tier, and it's just being underrepresented. And LRL probably, honestly, I think it could go a little down, like bottom of very strong, possibly even just high good. The problem with LRL is its matchups are very polarizing. It shits on people or it gets clapped, and that's kind of how it is. It feels like it's here if you're playing an army that gets clapped by it, but, honestly, it should be down here somewhere if we're being real. I think it's actually worse than Maw Tribes, maybe. And this could go up. IDK is actually struggling this edition, and by struggling I mean good, but forgot Legion of the First Prince, AA. AA arguably in front of Tzeentch. LRL has about a 50% win rate. Most armies have about a 50% win rate right now. Nobody's 70%. I think the highest win rate in the whole game right now is Doc at something like 60%. Everything else is like 56 to 46. That's almost every army is like 56 to 46. It's pretty good right now. Okay. Gloomspite Gitz has 30%. BOC has 34. Haas has 36 or 38 or something like that. Like, you're getting some clunkers in here, right? But there's no secret or surprise about these. Like, everybody's waiting for new stuff, except Haas. They just got their new stuff. That's a rough one, kid. You're going to have to hold that. But if you are better than your opponent, this is still enough to even take the work harder for less armies and plug them in the 4-1. The whole point of this exercise to express that when you are about as good as your opponent, you are a few mistakes away from losing or a few coin flips away from losing in however the game happens to flip coins or mistakes happen to happen, right? If you're pretty close to this doesn't mean that if you lose to your opponent, they're better than you, period. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if your skill is pretty close, then you're kind of flipping coins or you're making a big mistake and then it costs you the game in retrospect, right? If you're considerably better than your opponent, i.e. like 15 ELO, you're probably going to win and it doesn't matter what you're playing. And if you're considerably worse than your opponent, you're probably going to lose no matter what you're playing. But the point is, this is good. This is a good thing. This is good news. Because it means that your destiny is a lot more in control than previously thought. Onwards and upwards, always improving. And also, by the way, these tiers are like super loose because my overarching description was the thing that I spent the most time on. If you think I'm overrating SBG or underrating Nurgle, you're probably right on both counts. LRL is just strange to put anywhere, to be honest. Or if you think Bone Splitters are better than IJ, or if you think IJ is better than it's statistically shown, I do, for instance, then fair enough. But IJ has a really awful win rate right now, for whatever reason. Even though I think they have the tools. You think people are sleeping on OBR? A little bit, yeah. Their stats are truly awful, but there really haven't been a lot of games yet. Also. There haven't been a lot of games yet. I mean, there've been hundreds of games, but... What did he said? This is your video in less than a day. Yeah, but when I'm putting it on YouTube, I want to write a script for it. I want to say the exact thing at the exact time. I want to say the right stuff. Clip it and post it, yeah. Ahem. Your armies are all over this chart? Yeah. Mine are not. Mine are here. Right here. And kind of technically right here. This is where I like to be. For me, the best place to be is right in fat middle, aka like upper fat middle, right? You got a chance against the big boys. You got what it takes. You're a contender, but your army isn't flowchart winning the game for you with little input. And as long as you just do the thing, your opponent probably can't deal with it and lose. Like, that's not where you want to be. At least that's not where I want to be. And you don't want to be in the perpetually waiting for some battle tome to magically fix everything, when sometimes your new battle tome doesn't fix everything, it somehow makes it worse. I'm in the honest fight with your Fireslayers. Hate now, boys. Yeah, it's true. Fireslayers used to be, in my opinion, one of the best armies in the game. Not so much anymore. But I think they're actually a little more fun to play now. How do you feel about armies that seemingly counter others, playing against Coalesce Seraphon with Ogres? Oh, that's brutal. I have played that game. Z Morgul. I have played the Ogres versus Coalesced Seraphon, and brother, it ain't pretty. Like 1 damage weapons that you're paying 260 points for. Yes, it is very crippling. I think you either have to have so much of that stuff in the game that everyone accidentally gets some of it, or be very careful with how strong it is. Because it feels wrong to put a, like, fuck multi-damage weapons. Like, a gigantic sub-faction that just does that, when multi-damage weapon armies, like, aren't very good. It's like, it's kind of like you're putting a balancing dial into the game, and then turning the dial when it is unnecessary, you know what I mean? Or like, for instance, Bone Grins. Wait, it's not Bone Grins. Ghost-Faced Killers. What's the Bone Splitters sub-faction that turns off Ethereal? But it doesn't turn off stuff that is literally Ethereal, it just doesn't say Ethereal. So it only screws over Nighthaunt out of everyone. Oh, I guess Bellicor too. Your poor Nighthaunt got nothing from 3.0. True, yeah. Nighthaunt were screwed the second hardest by 3.0. I think it's kind of undeniable that OBR got screwed the most from 3rd edition, but Nighthaunt is not far behind. They got trucked. Drakfoot, that's it. Okay, it's not Ghost-Faced Killers, sorry. So basically, we're judging the car model, not the driver who's in it. Yeah, pretty much. That's a great analogy, J Bobbity. And also, it's the analogy that people use from Magic the Gathering. In Magic the Gathering, you have deck designers and pilots. And these are 2 distinct categories. They're called pilots because they're the ones that get in the plane and they win the race, right? And then you have deck designers who come up with the combos and find the optimal numbers of everything to run and figure out the perfect list based on some combo in the metagame or whatever, and then tool around with the sideboard. And these are different people. Very, very rarely they're the same people, but that's super rare. Usually you're mostly one or the other. Johnny Timmy. Well, it's not a Johnny Timmy and Spike thing. I think pilots and designers are kind of separate from that. I suppose they're both spikes if you're talking about competitive, but, you know. Sometimes you're LSV. Sometimes you're luck, skill, victory. Yeah. You came into this late and missed the KO remarks, Azrael? Oh, no problem. I'll give you the cliff notes. KO, lower, fat, middle, honest fight. You know, it looks like they're kind of low on the tier list, but this isn't that bad. Because even though they're kind of lower, fat, middle, which might seem like a bad thing, Tom Lyons just went 5-0 and won NashCon with them. So what does that tell you? It tells you that C tier doesn't mean you can't win first place and get a trophy, or in this case, a big sword. And that skill is way more important than what faction you happen to be playing. Unless they're both bad. True, yes, okay. Unless you are bad and you've chosen a bad army, I guess. But then, like, maybe depends on what you care about. Some people just want to throw some dice and eat a pretzel. And they're getting what they paid for. Some people want to put in a lot of effort and receive rewards based on the effort they put in, and they're getting what they paid for too. You are right now the person that you have been actively working towards becoming, whether you like it or not. Too real? Hold up. We discovered you're a Spike hiding behind the Timmies. I have always been a Spike. However, I'm taking Age of Sigmar as my recovering try-hard phase, so I'm not really spiking it. I still have a bit of the mentality, sure, but I'm not really treating it like Magic was. I feel like I'm recovering. The best thing in all the tournaments have been a lot of diversity in the top 10s. Yeah, in 3rd edition especially. I think that actually just goes to show my theorem of being good is important and pay less attention to how strong factions have to be. Now, it's true that stronger players tend to make better lists with more forethought put into them than players who don't, even within a faction, and that's true. But it's not necessarily the case that better players just always choose better armies. A lot of times people just have some faction they fucking love, even if they're really good. And they're like, I'm going to see how good I can do with the worst army in the game, or a poor or a weak army, or something that I think everyone's underrating. But I know the true, power, and then go 4-1 with something. And people are like, holy shit, someone just went 4-1 with Beast of Chaos? I thought they were trash. And the answer is they are trash. But the person is fucking good, and that really matters in Age of Sigmar. It really matters. How much of the gauging for the tier list come from broken or unclear leftover rules from 2nd? Very few. Yeah, I don't think broken or unclear rules from 2nd are really skewing the metagame very much. There's some stuff like Archaon's probably too good and Gotrik's probably too good, but, they have answers and the meta can adapt to them. This isn't like a Varangard, or this isn't like, what's that thing called? The 1st edition, hammer down Vanguard, put Liberators inside of combat, touching the bases on all the guys, like actually breaking the game. Because, like, they just didn't intend on the rules interacting that way, and it truly was, Vanguard Wing. It's not like there's something like that sweeping the tournaments. As far as like rules interactions go, we would like answers to the FAQ, but it's not like the metagame is waiting for those. It's just like people are waiting for those, right? Furthermore, Gotrik's not like dominating everything. He just feels awful to lose to, that's all. That's all. And it sucks when every Order army has one, right? Ahem. Oh, that is a good point. KO do have some weird questions they would like asked that if answered awesomely would put them up a tier or something like that. But it's nothing like too crazy. Just hopped in. Don't want to derail the convo, but good to see you doing better. Hey, thanks, Nerman. I appreciate it. I'm doing mostly better. I'm 90% better. And I flooded this stream with tons of memes at the beginning to make up for it. so I hope you enjoyed them. Because no one makes a living winning AOS tournaments, there's way more room for Johnny players at top tables, and even Timmy players, yeah. Like, part of the reason people are so competitive with Magic is that they are obliged to be based on the prizes. The only thing you'll get if you win an AOS tournament is a cool-looking trophy. 45 likes on your Twitter post. And, I don't know. Possibly a box of dudes from an army you don't play. Like, there's no reason to be like that. You know, there's no $20,000 reason to be like that. Unless you're just, like, a really competitive person, and then you'll probably win. And most of the people are like, yeah, he got me. We can't let people forget that AOS 1 was fucking awful. True, actually. Yeah. And I try not to. In all of my retrospective videos, and, like, you guys are brand new to AOS, you've never heard about it at all, I always make sure to mention that. AOS 1 was fucking trash. And this game is basically like a redemption story, you know. It's like No Man's Sky. It's like Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn, where the original release was fucking dog shit embarrassing. But it got better and it's good now, so who cares? But don't forget it. Come to the East Coast where there's $4,500 in prizes and you won entire armies new in box. Oof, no. I don't like it. I don't like it. I know this is a slippery slope, so we can't... we have to be careful what we say, right? But I don't want to travel down that road. I've been there. Gotrek and Marathi are the worst combo to versus. Here's my hot take, Hades. Putting Gotrek in Daughters of Cain actually makes it worse. I think if you make a Daughters of Cain army that doesn't have Gotrek in it, it has a higher ceiling of being good. I think it actually gets a little worse if you put Gotrek in it. Doc stuff is so good that you don't even want Gotrek, I think. But it's pretty close. And if you're a good player, you'll do well with either, obviously. Bluey is the best show. HeyWoah rebuttal. I don't know who Bluey is. Which is, I guess, accidentally a really vicious burn rebuttal. But yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't mean it to be. MDG pays cash, if I understand correctly. No, well, you got checks after a long time. You waited a long time and you got a check. That's how it usually worked. But it's been changing a lot the past 5-10 years. That was a good time for the popcorn. Yeah, all right, we're doing it. Anyway.
Pop? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop? Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking yeah at the end. All right. Anything coming up on the premium service, HeyWoah Plus Project Pipeline? Yeah, this stream. I clicked the record button because I remembered. And so it won't use the variable frame rate horseshit that Twitch uses that all editing, it's like poison to editing programs. And it's a nice, proper MP4, clean, in my element, totally relaxed, feeling it, you know. It's just going to be this stream. I'm putting it up on HeyWoah Plus, free. Everything after Yo, probably. Although, it is a bit cringe to put up a video and then just have the first 20 minutes be thanking people for donos. So, like, maybe I shouldn't do that, but that would involve editing the video and spending time on it. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is cringe to just thank people for 20 minutes. I might cut that out. Because then it's like a flex. I'm not trying to flex on people who are trying to watch VoDs. Plus, they'll get the wrong idea. This was a return stream. This was me being very, very sick for 1 week, and then pretty sick for another week, and then coming back. And so I don't want to make it seem like it's something it's not. Anyhow, what did Hades say? OBR got shafted this edition, and ORL isn't as good as people say, and they have a lot of counters, and they either clap or get destroyed. I think I agree with all that, yeah. Provide a timestamp. Oof, timestamps. I'm working on it. So with what little information we have, where do you think SCE and Orcs are going to land after the Battle Tomes? Somebody did a poll on it, and I chose September 11, because I never forget. But it feels right. Second week of September, probably. But I'm just guessing, and their schedule keeps changing too. And they would prefer that their schedule not change, obviously, so it's doubly hard for me to predict. And I'm bad at predicting these things. Hats off, sure. Let's go PlayStationware. Ahem. You want to get into Age of Sigmar this edition? Hey, good time. It's never been a better time to buy. I stay noited. This edition's pretty sweet, and the relative size of armies have either stayed the same or decreased a little bit, depending on your list. So, it's actually a pretty fun edition, especially if you like monsters, which I personally do. Will those books be OP or trash upon release? I expect them to look a lot like S-Blight G-Lords. That is to say, they'll look a lot like everything you see in there is going to be either like really cool but a little bit flawed, or super disappointing compared to the old version. But actually, for once, like with S-Blight G-Lords, remember how they said it was made with 3rd edition in mind? And literally no one believed them. We rolled our eyes. Because they said that shit before about a bunch of other books that were totally not designed for whatever the edition was in mind, you know? S-Blight G-Lords actually was developed with 3rd edition in mind, it seems, in retrospect. And so I would expect Stormcast and Cruel Boys to look a lot like SBG L. DS. We avoid the Noid. I got that reference. So either we're looking at the entire book or we're looking at just the best builds. Tier list stuff is complicated. Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm looking at the best builds. Like, how good can this be? It's basically what I'm asking. But also the main point is that tier lists don't give you enough information. Because they don't. Wasoran, hey, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. He says, good evening from Texas. Aw, it's been 2 weeks since I've said good evening to Texas. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Ogres should be higher for sure. I'll listen to that argument, yeah. I'm perfectly willing to hear an argument about Maw Tribes being A. And like maybe better than SBG. Probably not better than Saab or STD. Maybe not Seraphon. I'm not sure about Seraphon. But yeah, I'd easily listen to an argument about Maw being A. I'm pretty flexible with a lot of these. Because if you start coming at me with too intelligent takes, I'm going to start thinking that, and look up here, you might be better than your opponents. And that artificially inflates your power, as we've seen. Anyway, 300 bits, thanks for the donation. Donks are right. He says, glad you're back and feeling better. TY, true run both counts. I'm almost back to normal. So thanks a lot. Can you just throw the models you like on the table? Like if I play a fun list, will I just get tabled? I mean, you can't choose an army by totally random, right? Like, I guess that's hard to answer, right? Because you can't just like roll a d6 over and over to make all of your choices for you and expect to do well or anything like that, but it kind of depends on how much you care about doing well as a person, right? As with all games, you know, how good you get and how well you do tends to be directly proportional to how much effort you spend trying to do well, right? And a lot of it does have to do with the units you choose and the sub-factions you choose and the artifacts you choose, but actually a lot of it has to do with your reason for choosing those. Because sometimes you can take something that isn't like the best, but you can use it in an interesting way and it's part of your plan. And then you use that plan on the table and, oh, so this unit actually isn't very good, but I'm using it as an anvil with this thing and it's part of my strat. And so now this thing is like, it's doing better than it has any right to do because now it's part of my strategy. And this is kind of like why being a better player is good, you know? Can you just choose literally anything and do well with it? Probably not. But if you get good, you probably can. Again, if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to choose things on purpose, then I can only assume you don't care like a terribly large amount about winning at all your games, in which case it shouldn't be a problem if you lose most of them, right? Just tell your opponent beforehand the type of game you want to play, and then that erases 90% of any misunderstandings or bad feelings that could happen, I think. That's my go-to, is before the game I'm like, hey, what kind of game are you trying to play here? Is this a tournament practice? Or are we just kind of fucking around? You know, what power level are we talking about here? Like, what are we doing? And then they're like, oh, I'm really new to the game. This is my 3rd game ever. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to take this list, and now this is a teaching game. You know, we kind of head off any that guy moments at the pass. If you subscribe to HeyWoah Plus on YouTube, you can catch this past VoDs and some extra edits. True. HeyWoah Plus is also a meme that I made after Warhammer Plus, except mine is free. And it features my lowest effort content. It's just like VoDs. But there it is. You think it's healthy to always ask the question, yeah, like, am I being that guy? Could it be that I'm about to do something that would cause me to be that guy? Let's avoid that, right? However, winning is fucking great. True. So just like Warhammer Plus, you said it, not me. I think a lot of people are afraid of having their units die. It's important when teaching to explain that anything can die in one turn and that's fine. Yes, yeah. That's why I had that House MD meme, you know, everybody dies. This is like Commander, like Magic the Gathering Commander. Whenever you play a creature or an artifact in Commander, like, chances are the shit's dead by the time it gets back to your turn. And that's life, you know? That's just the name of the game. People got shit in their hands that say destroy an artifact, draw a card. And yours is the only artifact out. And even if it's not very good, they want to draw a card, you know? So, like, your units will die. It's a deadly game. There's such a thing as a double turn. That can happen. And so they'll just fight the thing or shoot the thing twice and it's dead. And that's just nature. It's the law of the jungle. The theme of Age of Sigmar from a lore and a story perspective applies to the game as well. And the premise is victory through sacrifice. And I think it actually wraps it up pretty nicely with that one. And sometimes you do just lose because it is a game with win conditions. And somebody's got to lose somehow. Golden Rule of Wargames, ask that question and don't be that guy. HeyWoah Gospel, I will scribe this. Yes, write it in stone if you could. And then make a PDF of it. Destroy, exile, or bust. Actually true, the Lord Whale. I mean, they're going to play a Perforos. You know they are. Can't destroy that shit. Get that off my table. Exile, or don't even talk to me. fucking indestructible enchantments, you gotta exile. Yeah. If your color has access to stuff like that. Perforos is so sick. Perforos is sick. Although it is... If you play Perforos and then you're just like, go... people are going to assume you're winning the next turn. They might just gang up on you. What do you do with 10k double turns? Hoard them. Also, some people use them to like put sunglasses on the emotes and stuff. That's pretty fun. I like that one. Unlocking emotes and things. Double turns are just currency you accrue for free and they mean nothing, so I called them... They're like channel points, you know? And so you can do some fun things with them. Redeemed hats off? Sure. You see Guide the Raid has died? Yeah, Guide the Raid has died because I never raid. I always forget. Nobody ever used it. No one ever told me to raid anyone, and I kept always forgetting, and I'm like, look, I can only remember so much. I'm not trying to raid people, for the most part. And even when I am trying to raid people, I usually forget and just log off, and then afterwards I'm like, oh yeah, I should have raided someone. You need a big spender option? Yeah, some like 20,000, 50,000 kind of thing. Hey, well, what chance the Orcs and SCE release retcon is to pool the core battalions and factions tactics, or is it staying? I'm trying to work through the syntax. Hold on. Dr. Dead Arch Vandal has redeemed ad time. Alright, get shot people who aren't subbed for 1 minute. Apologies, but I don't think there are many of you. But still get owned. What chance do the Orcs and SCE release retcon is to pull the core battalions and faction tactics, or it's staying? Hold on. I'm trying. Can you repeat that? A State of Kevin? What about 140k? Oh, big roller, I see. 20k points to watch HeyWoah fold one piece of laundry on screen. I'm pretty good at folding laundry. Towel game's pretty strong. Shirt game, also pretty strong. Pants, not the best at folding, but pretty good. You mean, are they removing them, those things? Oh, no. In fact, I bet, if I was a bettin' man, and I'm not, as far as you know, I'd say they're adding more, like, specific extra core battalions for Stormcast and extra battle tactics for Stormcast in the new battle tomes. I bet they're adding more of them, which is a terrible idea. And it's like they learned nothing, right? But I think they're definitely going to do it. That's my guess. It's full clown mode, yes. Yeah, like, we can't balance all of these different battalions with all these different points values. And we're not even going to try, so they're all gone. And then immediately start adding more that don't have point costs. So it's even harder to balance them. So yes, I think they will make the same mistake again, except even worse and more obviously. But I hope they don't. I'm inhaling hopium. This vape pen is filled with hopium right now. That they won't make such an awful mistake. They've already done it with SOB in the White Dwarf, I know. But SOB is maybe special because they couldn't use core battalions before, so maybe, no, we've transcended hopium and now we're on to actual copium. They're just going to do it. And it's a huge mistake and I'm mad, but whatever. Tapping out because I have to go in early tomorrow for my real job TM. Hey, my condolences. Sorry about the real job. Glad to see you back and healthy, HeyWoah. Don't get a real job, kids. Hey, sometimes you have to get a real job. Because that's the situation you're in. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Thanks for liking my stuff. And sorry for shitting on your real job. I wasn't really shitting on people that have real jobs. I was shitting on people that have real jobs that use it as a bludgeon to attack people that in their view don't have quote-unquote real jobs, which is like way different. It's way different. And it's a super shitty and pitiable position to be in. As long as the new battalions don't give you anything extra than what the core ones do, oh, like if it just jumbles up the different ones. Yeah, I suppose then it's like, why would they add them, though? Except to fill space, perhaps. How many double turns for a TTS game? The double turns will never be currency for anything that actually matters, because they have no value. They're free. They're just for funsies. That's not to say that I'm playing me in a TTS game behind a paywall or anything. I'm trying not to. But I mostly just choose somebody when I'm trying to schedule it. Honestly, if they don't add any new abilities and just stick with the same ones in the main rules, I don't mind having custom core battalions. Yeah, that's not so bad. I might reach across the aisle on that one, Leadfoot. Also, because it's Leadfoot. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say so. All you have to do is say narrative only, and that is your golden Willy Wonka ticket to write whatever the fuck shit you want in the new battle tomes. The craziest, strongest, least balanced, most interesting, like paragraphs of rules, battalions, battle tactics. That's for New Game Plus, aka narrative. Anvil of Apotheosis, like narrative gets the fucking candy, right? The candy that's like glowing with radiation and it's probably not safe to consume. That's for narrative play. And if they do that, totally fine. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Is the stuff that's probably not okay, but who gives a shit? We got an app for that. SJ Arcade is ready for a rematch. Oh, sweet. Thoughts on 9 min-sized Hearthguard Berserker units with 3 Doomseekers, a Rune Father on Magndroth, and a couple of Priests. It's a list someone at your FLGS is thinking of getting into as their first AOS army. That feels a little one-note, doesn't it? Why not some Auric Hearthguard for their nice ranged attacks? I kind of like those guys. Consider mixing some of those in, I would say. Min-sized Hearthguard Berserkers, to me, don't quite do it. I like 10 or 15 for more impactful units. I don't know if going MSU with them is that great. Because they're really great because of all the buffs that you can place on them. And I'm pretty sure that Fyreslayers has moved a little bit towards the Auric Hearthguard, like Shooty Boys. Not like fully, but moved more in that direction, or a little bit more of a Neapolitan. Shorty Paint Studios actually plays Fyreslayers, so he can tell you, he's got his finger on the pulse of the Fyreslayers community. What say you? But Bilateralis Symmetricus, he is a Volkite Berserker. That's a different type. He's the leader of the squad. Five-man Hearthguard Berserkers with broad axes, but you do need at least some Auric Hearthguard. Okay. Is there a decent Magmadroth list? I haven't played against Fyreslayers, and I haven't talked to many of them too much. But I have to assume that plenty of Fyreslayers players are trying to run 2 or 3 of them. Or sorry, 1 or 2 of them. Probably the Sun, if I would have to guess. Because I think his command ability is the best one. Oh, mostly Magmadroths. Okay. We're entering into interesting territory now. You gotta switch hats? Oh, did somebody do a hats off? I didn't notice. Apologies. I didn't see. Like BCR, but magma dragons? I don't know how good it is. Like, build it on TTS and see if it's any good. Oh, I hope it's good. Wouldn't it be so sick if that was good? Like monster actions and going, what is it, Loafweir Lodge or whatever? There's a lodge that gives you bonuses for those guys. I don't know if it was like that great. Totally gotta try it out. But that's a try. And even if it's just okay, but it's got some surprise heat. Because you're playing with like 4 lava, like you're playing with like water balloons filled with lava. Like whoever kills those are just gonna lose half their life and mortal wounds automatically. So even if they're not very good, they explode when they die. And yeah, I hope it's good. I would like it to be good. Dude, you played against that list with a buddy the other day? Oops, all lava dragons seem solid. He ran like 4 of them and then a small sea of the shooting dudes. Yeah, like Auric Hearthguard as far as the eye can see, and 4 Magmadroths. That sounds great. It actually sounds really awful for me to deal with personally. Because the whole point of Ogre Maw tribes, well, okay, the whole point of the type of Ogre Maw tribes that I play is I play a bunch of Stonehorn that if they charge you, they just truck. And you're dead. And there's no swings backsies, right? And if you charge me, I should have played better and I'll lose, right? Next time, get good, right? And that's how I like it, right? But when you're running all these lava balloons, I get the charge, I kill them, and then they explode and deal 8 mortal wounds. And just end up like killing all my guys from killing them. And then you have a bunch of Auric Hearthguard waddling around collecting objectives. That might actually be tricky. Angry Dad, thanks for the big primer. I appreciate it. 6-month reprime. TY. Thanks for the support and please enjoy your emotes. Question, HeyWoah, can I please get a shirt that says oops all bigs? I might try to go... Oh, speaking of shirts, by the way. Thanks for reminding me, Arterius. I just got an email today, 4 o'clock today, from company, and it said my hat, the hat that was demanded by chat during the Mr. Mephisto Rantathon charity drive. They finally shipped it. It was a shipping notice. So this is August 23rd, right? I ordered that thing the day of the Rantathon, and it shipped today. So now it just has to go all the way across the ocean, through the Suez Canal, maybe, get stuck there for a little while, and then land, and the Bipus hat will be real. Final cost for me, chat, it was $36 for the hat and $60 for custom thread of custom image, and then I denied their first because they made it too small and I wanted it double, I wanted it fucking huge, and it increased the thread count and it was even more expensive. This is a $100 hat from charity. And so I'll have you know, we don't fuck around. That's a big hat. It was worth it. I had to find a company that didn't care that I was making Adidas except slightly changing the words. And so I had to find a company that didn't give a fuck about knockoffs or getting sued. It was hard. And I'm not trying to iron on something. I don't want a 3D printed garbage. I want real threads, all right? Anyhow, this is the hat the chat built. It's also from you, so I appreciate it. Do you have a plan for your BCR against Marathi? You know, low-key Liesmith, I've never played against Marathi in my life. I've played in tournaments non-stop for 4 years. Played on TTS. Played in real life at locals. Various gaming stores. Friends' houses. I played against Daughters of Cain plenty. It just so happens I've never played against Marathi. I played against Doc, but they weren't playing Marathi. She seems really fucking good against what I'm trying to do, though, which is kill people in a single swing. And if I don't, then they hurt me real bad. Also, who's ready for this hat to show up and it's like one size fits all from the country I bought it from, but not from America, and it doesn't even fit? Or the image is all fucked up or something. I'm concerned. I have a little concern, but... Is an all-demon Slanesh army going to be better than D tier? Probably not. I stay noited. Bliatsville, yeah. Suka Bliatsville, yeah. Doblodoshki. Big head Americans, yeah. Big mouth, big head, big body. Sometimes big brain. It's smooth, but it's big. That's the kind of brain we're looking for. Big D, yeah. There were Tales of Two tier lists? Ah, yes. This one was sent in by a viewer. Top video game consoles tier list. Are you ready for some heartbreakers? You love Smooth Brain as an insult. I do too. I like the duality of Smooth Brain versus like your brain has so many wrinkles, like you're a Seraphon, you know, Slan Star Master amount of wrinkles in the brain. I like the back and forth there. It's a funny meme. Small question, thoughts on new Mega Boss on foot? Does he have the same stats, or are you talking about sculpt-wise? I think the old Mega Boss on foot sculpt is one of the most perfect sculpts they've ever made. It's so good. And I can't actually bring to mind the new one. Alright, let's start, as always, with defining our endpoints. We have to define our terms. What is the best, what is the worst, and then we fill in the rest from there. Darrington, thanks for the $5, dude. I appreciate it. And it was a dono, so only Chad's Click and Bezos didn't get his hands on it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. His comment was big. Great comment. Also, Dosacios, I probably thanked you for your Prime, but I can't remember if I did, so thanks a lot. So let's define our GOAT tier and trash tier. First of all, let's get this one out of the way. Where is it? Where's PS2? PS2, simply the best. It's not alone in the GOAT tier, don't worry. But it's in there. Best games of its generation, best system of its generation, best system across multiple generations even. You play DVDs on it, play CDs on it, best controller. It is the greatest of all time. Plays PS1 games for nearly full backwards compatibility at a time when that simply wasn't done. Fucking amazing. And now, trash. What is trash? You know what? I actually had a Virtual Boy. I had a Virtual Boy. It was trash. Only thing about PS2 is, like, longevity-wise, they tended to go, especially the slim versions. They don't last forever, but, you know, most consoles don't last very long without some maintenance. Also, Red Ring of Death has entered the chat. Jesus Christ. What's actually the worst fucking system? I would say that... Well, okay, we have a Panasonic 3DO here, which is obviously trash. It had, like, no good games on it. What was it? Gex? Fucking PO'd? Doom, kind of. I don't know. Like, it was super shit. I'm gonna say... What's non-controversial? The Atari was trash. This is not controversial. This shit came out and it fucking sucked. This wasn't even fun for a child. The controller was ass, the games were ass. Giant squares on the screen. Literal garbage. It's a miracle video games were even a thing when the early ones were like this. Yeah, there were literally no alternatives. That's true. Unplayable infinite loop games. Remember Star Wars Hoth thing? Yeah. And what was it? E.T., I think most famously E.T. Like had no internal testing, and so there was just one part of the game very early on that you couldn't get past. I will consider hacking, by the way, in this review. For all those PSP talkers, hacking your console into something does factor into this list. It's a big part of why any of these handhelds are anything at all. Oh yeah, PC. I mean, PC is just the best. Nothing compares to it. PC is so good, it can play every PS2 game, and every SNES game, and everything else pretty much. It's so god tier, it's not even... It's actually unfair that PC is even on this list. It's a tier above tiers. Like, there should be a tier above here that's just called PC Master Race, and it goes there. And this is fact. PC is not a console. Correct, yeah. And this is the video game consoles tier list. It's not a console. But it's still better than any console, so get owned. What else? This thing here. I don't know what this thing is. I don't recognize this, and this is rare. This is rare because I don't recognize this, and I thought I knew every system. I thought I knew OG, Genesis. I thought I knew Panasonic 3DO, which is kind of rare as a system. Nope, this thing, I don't know what that is. Does anybody know? It's a Kickstarter failure console? It kind of looks like it. That's the Ouya? Oh, I thought people were memeing. That's its actual name? Okay. Dude, is the N-Gage on here? Are you serious? Hold up. No, there's no N-Gage. Okay. There is a Sega Game Gear. Thanks for the 2 bits, Willie. Appreciate it. N-Gage had the One Rifts video game on it, and it was, by all accounts, a great game. People really liked it. I was trying to buy an N-Gage and figure out how to hack it so that I could stream the Rifts game, but it proved too difficult to do. You had to like solder stuff into it to get a feed out. Anyway, Super Nintendo. Top tier. Easy. Your system is graded as well on the quality of the games that came out during it. No, honestly, it wouldn't be fair otherwise. And as such, Super Nintendo, simply the GOAT. PS2, simply the GOAT. You can't compare, right? They're destroying the competition. Can I issue a hot take or something? Let's see. The Wii U is fucking trash. The Wii U is a trash system. Garbage. That's a lukewarm take. Everybody agrees with that. What about the Wii? The Wii is also a trash system, but it's better than the Wii U. Let's see. Maybe I should make these less controversial, right? C might be too high for this one. We'll have to see. I want to fill in the rest of it a little bit. For me, B tier is as high as you can get for being basically a thing that gets hacked. So you exist as like a thing that gets hacked, and then you put shit on it, and it's sweet. But it's kind of like being a PC, except a handheld PC. And so these are sweet. These are sweet. Game Boy is culturally significant, but like no one would ever use it anymore, right? Like, where's the culturally significant tier? I guess that didn't buy Atari a lot. Oh wait, where's the DS? That's in the same place. B for culturally significant tier. All right, the end of the bottom of B tier. Also, this is like, you could throw this through a storefront window and shatter it. Like, this is a brick. Game Boy was very important for Pokemon. The Wii can lift over 500 pounds. This is not a joke. There's a Game Boy that survived a bombing in the Gulf War at the Nintendo store in Manhattan that you've seen probably once a year since you were a kid. Oh, sweet. What about the 3DS XL? Generally, handhelds, in my opinion, are dog shit. And they're only good if they're hackable. Otherwise, I don't see a point. Can you hack this thing? Should it be in B tier because of it? GBO's Kino, alright. Oh, and actually a lot of really good RPGs came out for them. That never made it to, like, proper systems, and I'm sad. You guys own phones, right? I do own phones. But imagine playing phone games. Cringe. PSP was a classic? Yes, it was. B tier is good. B tier is good. Oh, you DM'd the picture of the Game Boy that got blasted in a bombing? Alright, let's check it out. You're kidding me, it still works? It still works. It's playing Tetris. Bro, respect. Do I have a respect emote? I don't. Alright, I think this is it.
Pop? Yeah.
Yeah. Does it still work? Yeah. Alright. That's sweet. I'm gonna shelf these handhelds for a moment while I do the rest of this stuff, but just understand that I rate handhelds less because I don't think it's a good, like, medium. I don't know the difference between these two DSs. I don't do handhelds. I just don't do them. I don't recognize this one. This isn't a Jaguar. Jaguar is way smaller. Don't recognize this system. What's the point? The point is you can play it on public transit. Yeah, I'm not a public transport gamer, and so it didn't even cross my mind. Explain your handheld bias. I don't ride the subway, or trains, or public transport, and so I don't have the need to use an inferior form of video gaming. Although that being said, a lot of really good RPGs are on some of these, so maybe I'm underrating them. Original play, let's see. 3DO, trash, but better than Wii U. Virtual Boy was trash, that's for sure. GameCube, super good. Let's see, is it A or S? I wonder. I'm remembering like some really good games on the GameCube, but I wonder if it was shallow or not. I think A. I don't think it's quite S. I do remember playing PSO on it with a fucking keyboard and a, like, wired Ethernet adapter. But every game that came out this generation that was also on PS2 was better on PS2 than GameCube. And the exclusives were like Nintendo stuff, so like hugely overrated crap like Zelda and Metroid and things like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I think A. A little bit shallow, but good work. Bad controller. It plays Melee, and so it attracts the worst of the fighting game fans to it. You can tell. Sega Dreamcast. So this is a system, this isn't where it's going, I'm just placing it here. This is a system like the much worse Sega Saturn that came out just a little bit too early and got dominated by the big dogs the very next quarter. Sega Saturn was kind of crap. It had Panzer Dragoon was really good. It had a bunch of like Japanese stuff that never came to America. And for that reason, it had almost no games. Yeah, I played Sega Knights. I played Panzer Dragoon on it. I played whatever Time Cops or some shit, right? This is a bunch of arcade hits, but there was a shitload of games that just never got translated to English, and its library was really small and it suffered. And then right after it, shit like the Nintendo 64 came out and blasted it. So Dreamcast, kind of same thing. Ultimate Party Machine. Modding it was really sick. It literally had Windows running on it already. You didn't even have to do anything to pirate or install Windows on it or anything like that. Fucking S tier. It was sick. And the controller looks whack as fuck, but is actually very comfortable and works well. It's not like the N64 controller where you have to literally let go of the goddamn thing and re-hold on to it to use an alternative thing. It just looks weird and has a really expensive, like, Tamagotchi pet in there. The shit was cash. It just didn't have the depth of titles, you know? But, underrated for sure. Awesome. Soul Calibur Marvel CS2. Yeah. It had the best Soul Caliburs on it. It's going to take you for a ride. It had actual good party games and stuff. So, S tier it is. Yeah, it had Power Stone is awesome. Big fan. Nintendo 64. Where does it go? I consider this a very overrated system. Omega overrated, even. This shit had... Now, consider the bias here. It had some Zelda games people liked, but I don't like Zelda games, so I don't give a shit. It had mostly weak Donkey Kong games. It had GoldenEye 64, which everyone likes, but was literally a bad game. And a bunch of other stuff. Honestly, it was bad. Like, the system was not great. Like, probably B. And the controller is whack as hell. It was them trying to make a really inventive controller, but actually it's trash. And that center thing wears out immediately. And the thing you get to replace it doesn't feel the same, and all the speedrunners only want original, never-before-used N64 controllers. They don't want the refurbished ones. And it's a fucking hassle to find them. Bomberman, pretty good. Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart. It had some good titles, but it was destroyed by the shit that came out around it, and its controller was whack. And Mario 64 is cool. Doom 64. I've played Doom 64. It's bad because you use a controller in a first-person shooter, which is bad. Yes, it had Banjo-Kazooie. It had Ogre Battle. There was some good stuff, but it was mostly whack. Doom is a PC game. The original Nintendo is, where do we even put that? In culturally significant tier in B. It's in culturally significant tier. Right next to the Game Boy. It kind of started it all. This technically started it, but no one gives a shit and it actually sucked. This really started it. And it started so much. Ninja Gaiden, Final Fantasy, Battletoads, Mario 3. So many... Dude, is this actually an A? Is my nostalgia fogging my brain and making it even smoother such that it's like a ball bearing spinning in my mind? Is this thing an A tier? Where's SNES for you? Oh, it should be no surprise. It's in the GOAT tier. It's right up here. Marble Brain from nostalgia. NES had a Zelda game. It should go down. Is it possible to have contrarian brain? Yeah, I think it is. And be concerned about that one too. Yeah, it's fucking nostalgia. It goes in the culturally significant tier. Mega Man, Bible stories, Contra. Yeah. Where they took Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stallone and literally just traced their faces on the cover without asking them. And called it Contra. Alright, what else is happening here? Xbox One is trash. Literal garbage system. Right up there with Wii U. First system was Genesis, and SNES was the best. Yeah, in the console war between Genesis and SNES, SNES obviously destroys Genesis. Genesis has like some slick ass fucking games and some dank music, cool single player stuff. It had some cool stuff, but SNES fucking destroyed it, right? So honestly, I feel it's like B above N64. No, we're talking about Xbox One, not the first Xbox, by the way. So there's the first Xbox, and then there's Xbox One, right? And this is part of the reason why Xbox One is shit, but there are so many more. There are so many more reasons why Xbox One is dog shit. Now, original Xbox, as long as it didn't get a red ring of death, which is actually at worst with this one, but this one also got it. This thing is this A tier? It's like free A tier, right? Because you just converted this into a PC. Like this, it is a computer. In fact, if you open it up, all the parts were just like their leftover shit from their... Is this S tier even? Yeah. I think it might go like this. Since I allowed modding over here, we gotta allow it over here, and this thing is it's a computer. It's the Halo machine. Even though I hated Halo. Ninja Gaiden Black. Yeah. Xbox 360 was considerably worse than the original Xbox. And not only because the quality control was garbage, and the red ring of death was very, very, very common. Had fewer great exclusives, maybe. I don't know. 360's controller was pretty good. Also, I suppose you could crack this thing too, but it was a little harder. Is it better than a GameCube? Maybe like this. Yeah, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to put it here. And then Man, isn't this interesting? You can track the progress of Microsoft's consoles by just starting at the top up here, and chronologically they're just getting worse and worse and worse. That's a rough one, kid. It's not fair to judge them on hackability because literally every console can be. That's true, you can hack everything. That's true. I mean, technically you could hack a PS2 in really extreme cases and put stuff on there, but it's not really like a Windows machine like you can do with Xbox or Dreamcast. And some of the lengths they went to for these. So I think if it's noteworthy... Hack the planet. You could run Vista on 360. Nice. PS3 wasn't very good, but its games I thought were really good. And they had a super excellent depth of like digital stuff you could get for PS3. It was just like way expensive when it came out, but like the games were super fucking good. Also, it was a Blu-ray player, which is why it was so expensive. It was the last one that had like as much backwards compatibility as you could get if you got the original version, and then they changed it after that. It's my personal list, and so I owned a PS3 for a long time, and I played a shitload of old games with it and new games with it, and I enjoyed it way more than either of these two. So here it goes. PS3 was so great it forced an early release of a failed gen for Microsoft. What qualifies as a good console removed from the market and available games? Then the list would look totally different, I think. And you'd have to talk about like price versus hardware versus how easy it is to write games for, and the PlayStation 1 would suddenly like drop to the bottom of the list because it was bullshit hard to write code for. I like judging it based on the sea of games that were available because that's really what people care about. Like, that's the point of it, you know? It doesn't matter that the Xbox One has amazing hardware in it if the only thing it has going for it is that you could play Killer Instinct on it, and everything else is better on some other system, right? PS1... Once again, this is like a culturally significant beginning of an era kind of B-tier thing. Like Metal Gear, fucking Final Fantasy VII, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater to get the Skater Boys in there, Madden and stuff. So many greats. A lot of great RPGs as well. Soten. I'm honestly grading this low because, you know, Tekken as well, like true 3D fighters and stuff. Madden did not first release on the PS1. Oh, good point, actually. Madden's older than that. Bushido Blade, fine. At the risk of being a full nostalgia brain, get owned. Because you were owned by this. Actually, you were owned by this, but... don't know what this is, can't remember what this is, although I've seen it in person. I just can't say what it is. The Switch. Much like the Wii and the Wii U, this is for normies. This is for the absolute normie, right? But unlike the Wii and the Wii U, it actually has good games on it. So I would actually put it up here. It's the biggest success for normies in the whole universe, I think. It's not for me. This system is marketed towards exactly what I am not ever. But credit where it's due. I think it goes A. even though it's a piece of fucking shit and it's designed horribly with absolutely asinine, pointless bullshit all over it, and it's hard to charge and replace. And I have so many complaints about dealing with it. But the normos fucking love it, so what are you gonna do? It is both a sit console and a mobile console, yes, and it ends up being way worse than both. IMO. It functions as a super shitty stand-up console and an okay handheld with bad battery life. Sometimes you should pick one or the other. But I'm putting it in A, otherwise the normies will be mad. PS4 is actually sweet. I like PS4. Doesn't have the backwards compatibility of PS3. But I like it. I don't even know where I'd put it. Probably here. And then this thing's in nostalgia tier. Because I literally can't remember anything that gets played on this thing. So if somebody thinks this should be C or whatever, has strong opinions about it, I can't remember much about it. It's got Super Metroid, so that's all that matters. You have shamelessly enjoyed your Switch. That's what it's for. The Switch is designed to shamelessly enjoy it. And it leans into that. And it succeeds super hard. Super successful. This thing is an A. What is this? Master System? How come we don't have Sega CD? Where's 32X? Also, where's my Neo Geo? To play some... Oh, I see someone mentioned it. Yeah, to play Samurai Showdown. To play... oh shit, I forgot. What's that tank game? All those classic, like... big boy arcade games and stuff back then. Sega CD is nuts. Sega CD is actually really bad, right? Like, it had 5 games. I'm trying to remember them. Let's see. Sega CD had Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam. It had a Jurassic Park, like, point-and-click adventure game that was shit. It had Sewer Shark, which had an awesome commercial but wasn't a good game. It had Sonic CD, which was actually good and had an anime opening, and the thing was awesome. What else does Sega CD have? It had that game that they had to ban and censor because it involved Night Trap, I believe. Which is like, you play as this girl who's trying not to get raped, but if you don't do anything, you get raped. And so, like, what the fuck do you think people were going to do? And so they had to ban it. Well, not ban it, but release a second version that was censored. I think it had an X-Files game, maybe? There were some, like, FMV games or something on Sega CD. But for the most part, it was pretty bad. Same with 32X, I guess. Although I liked Tempo. Tempo was pretty fun. Where's the PS1? A tier. Splunkin 309 thinks a big primer. I appreciate it. Tempest 2000. Night Trap also helped create the ESRB. Oh, then it's a bad thing. They helped create a bad thing, which is the ESRB. I'm sad. And so the Sega CD literally did harm to the gaming industry, yeah. And we get to put it in trash tier, for sure. Is there anything now that I'm looking at that we can move around? I think it's not, so I'm just counting this thing as both the S's, right? Like, this thing is just both the S's, and I think it can go in its rightful place somewhere in A, because the games are actually fucking amazing. Move up to PS1, it had Wu-Tang Shaolin Style. Yes, I've played that game. I've also played Shaq Fu on the Genesis, but it stays in B tier. Sorry. Do you have any guilty pleasure FMV games? Probably Phantasmagoria. I'm just kidding. I've never actually played that game. I just know about it. and the sequel, A Puzzle of Flesh. Honestly, I think The Neverhood is spiritually an FMV game, because it's just a bunch of recorded backgrounds of claymation, and so I would say The Neverhood is the best FMV game under those definitions. The Wii stayed in production for the longest time across 2 console generations. Yeah. If this was going based on, like, how successful you were, the Wii would be fucking GOAT tier. Like, the Wii sold so well, despite being utter garbage, with no good games on it. It sold so well. Have you ever heard of a game called 12 Minutes? Is that like a clock tower horror game? Or am I thinking of D? The game where you can't save. Like, there's no save feature. I can't remember. No, it's a new game? Okay. Did you play D on PS1 FMV? I just mentioned that, yes. I did play D. It had no way of saving your game. And the game was like 3 hours long. It was fucking... it was bad, but it was fun bad. It was one of those fun bad games. You ranked PS2 high for backward compatibility. I rated it high despite that. It's just a cherry on top. But the GameCube could be semi-mobile. No TV needed. A useless feature, IMO. And everything Game Boy did before the DS. True or Tyrius. And you could hook up... Game Boy Color and stuff to it, right? To, like, have a TV with your... I can't remember which Game Boy. My memory's getting fuzzy now. That's why it's so high up in A. If it had none of that shit, it'd be even lower. But this is my... Can you tell my bias against Nintendo consoles? Yet. Even with this huge bias against Nintendo consoles, the SNES is undeniable. And so if there are haters, all you have to do is become undeniable, right? Deduct points for poor attempt at little CDs. That was stupid. Yep, that was dumb. But Nintendo likes to reinvent the wheel in crazy ways and sometimes get it way wrong or even wronger and sometimes get it way right. So props for trying crazy stuff. Although the reason they try it is often like an Apple way. So like you can't buy third-party stuff and you have to change all your features so that it's on the company. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. You gotta at least switch B and A tier around. No, it looks correct to me. Honestly, a lot of this B stuff is here through pity. It would be in C, but I'm trying to be nice on my return stream. You might say they invent a gimmick just to force a new gen to make you buy all new shit. Yes, that is literally what they're doing. But that's kind of what a console is, in a way. And then sell you back the games you used to buy, now downloadable via the store. Hello, PS3. Cell phones are in the basement below trash tier. Yes. Yeah, if there was a tier below trash, it would be every single cell phone game. Except the Nokia N-Gage. That would be one higher in the normal trash tier. You can't put the Switch over all the better handhelds. I didn't. Look. Be reasonable. Vito is S tier if you say all the Pirate Seas. It is Kino tier. So there's a Kino tier that exists somewhere around here. And that's all the like fully hacked systems that go there. DS is not better than GameCube. I like DS's games better than GameCube games for the most part. You must... Oh my god. Funko Land? Are you kidding me? Alright, I think I've riled enough feathers with the meme tier list.
Beats.
Gotta keep these memey. Otherwise people get complacent. TY for the 100 bits. Crypt Shadow. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. What does Kino mean? It's an old film term. It's an old film term. In fact, here, I'll give you the true. Give you the true definition, and not just a meme definition. True and real. It means ahem, the highest tier of motion pictures. A kino is a film for oh no, alright, I've already started reading the meme version. It means excellent, superb, of the highest quality, originally referred specifically to films. Often inspiring a feeling of like transcendental, you know, enjoyment, like you're sitting out in front of a perfect glass, you know, lake in a Bob Ross painting in the background with mountains and everything and two happy trees next to each other all over the place. And it's cold, but the sunlight is warming you, you know, and you have a hot chocolate. It's like that is kino. And it's also a pretentious word for cinematic. Yes, correct. And it's also a meme that people have overused into almost uselessness. Is it not just Polish for cinema? That might be its etymology. I'm not sure. Only true auteurs can identify the kino that is Dogma 95. Delightful. I watched Dogma 95 movies. I had to for class. And I'm here to tell you, they're trash. I only liked one of them. And it wasn't because of any of the Dogma 95 rules that they were following. It's because it was an interesting movie that was held back by them, in my opinion. So get owned. You know the one you liked? What do you what do you think the one I liked was? All right. You also enjoyed it okay, yeah. The one in the big house, right? Anyhow, chat, it's 3:15 worth of hours. I'm containing my voice here. I really appreciate all the support and the bits, subs, and primes, and the warm welcome back from me being really fucking sick. So thanks a lot. Bicycle Thief? Wasn't that French New... That wasn't Dogma, was it? It was French New Wave, I thought. Well, okay, it was Italian... No, it wasn't French New Wave. Was it Italian Neo-Realism? What's it called? Not Neo-Realism. No, I think it was. I think it is called Italian Neo-Realism. And it was the precursor to what, yeah, French New Wave was doing the opposite of. Never mind. Yeah, anyway. As you can tell, my brain isn't working very well. Good to see you back in a while. Thanks for the same. Hey, no problem. Thanks a lot. Oh, there's hobby time. Oh, God, there's probably so much hobby. Oh, shit. We're doing it anyway. I'm doing it live. There hasn't been hobby for a long time. I'm going to do hobby for what people have sent me. We have the Lord Whale. With Sigvald looking fab. Looking fabulous. And a pleasant color scheme. White, yellow, gold, and purple. All these colors go great together, as well as the teal here. Not bad. Or maybe it's candy blue. Depends on what kind of camera you're using, I suppose. But I like it. 5 out of 7 work for sure. Let me protect my... Dinma is working on a rock. A promise of things to come. This is the rock that, perhaps Kragnos, will stand mightily atop. Or perhaps a stranger beast. Perhaps a stranger beast. Anyway, super orange Martian soil here. Next to the purple rock. Looking good. I look forward to see what sort of creation is put on top of it. 5 out of 7 work. TY for sending. We got the boy. Fucking Frostlord on Thundertusk. There's the Frost Spear. gold-plated Thundertusk horns. Good call. I do that myself. Not metallic. I do metallic gold, but you went for a super yellow. And a mighty frown here. Super blue legs, too. Not bad. I like it. 5 out of 7 for sure. Also, I'm pretty sure you showed this one before. Or perhaps it was just an update of it. But I actually like the little face and the change from red to blue. Got some men to still put on here, so work in progress. But 5 out of 7 Turtle Lad. And I like the little filigrees you got here going on. Little flame. Flame leg action. Yeah, it's Is-It. Yeah, blue-red. Yep. Is-It Ravnica? 5 out of 7 Turtle. Good work. And finally, we got some Rat Boys. Oh, this is very nice. Look at this. Clean, herdy tail Rat Boy. With some freehand flag symbols. And here's the other way, the other direction. Just some cute little rats. Look at this one. This is very nice. Look how cute this is. On a scale of 1 to 7, I would say this is 5 out of 7 cute for sure. Cute AF. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. This is actually all of the hobby. I thought there would be more. So TY for watching. I'm actually probably going to go to bed after this, but hey, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate the warm reception, and let's get back to normal. Start working up again on the YouTube videos, getting the streams going out. Everything back to normal. Also, I have a lot more memes and new chat stuff. Are you guys ready for the ultimate? There's one more meme that I have yet to show you that I made. This is a meme about the weekend streams.
Deal me out this hand, Jason. I'm about to bust. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the bathroom. Oh, good lord.
She has a choker. Truly an "Are you winning, son?" moment. Ahem. Also, and for those of you who didn't see it, at the beginning, I'm running it back. The HeyWoah returns meme. So please enjoy a final meme and then the TY for watching. Appreciate. See you guys later this week.
He is the one.